Podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.
Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 142 of the XboxEra Podcast. I'm Sik and Nick, and I'm joined, as usual, by Special Nick.
What's going on?
What's going on?
I'm so tired.
Very tired.
So tired.
Nick. Sleepy Nick is the new name. Please change your gamer tag and Twitter handle appropriately.
Yeah.
Sleepy Nick.
Sleepy.
Sleepy. And as always,
Sleepy.
hiding in the background, lurking in the shadows. Getting my ASMR on. It's Jesse. Hi, Jesse.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. It's been a week, isn't it? You've been busy. You've been driving up and down Australia. You're
Yes, I
doing
have.
everybody's
Or
shows.
Victoria, at least.
Everybody's shows.
Been doing show. This is my fourth show in 48 hours.
Blimey.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I said to everyone, like, hey, January, I've got off. So this is the month to get me on your show. And then everyone hit me all at once. Like, hey,
Media
jump on this week.
appearances.
And I'm like, I can't say no. Like, I've been organizing a lot of these since like May. I'm like, I've got to jump on. So did Box and Burgers World of Gaming, which is good. I made his show go for 4 hours, which I think was their longest. I then did Game Mess Jeopardy with Jeff and Mike, which was
Can't
really,
say anything
really
though.
good.
It doesn't go live for the public for a month or so.
Oh, really? Is it that long?
I think so.
Wow. Yeah. Because I posted in Jeff's Discord saying, hey, and then I revealed the result and they were like, no spoilers. So I quickly deleted my message. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think once they record a new one, the last one goes live. That's how they do it.
Okay. It was good. But I don't want to say any more if I'm not supposed to spoil stuff. But yes.
It was fun.
I'm good at trivia. And what else? And I did Miles's this morning, just a few hours ago. So I got up at 5 a.m. to do Miles's show. And I think I fell 5 minutes short of his record for the longest podcast.
Was he like this? Like, shut up.
No. Because I asked him, I said, is this your longest? He's like, no. I had Snowbike Mike on. And that was 3 hours and 5 minutes. So I think I fell like 5 minutes short of that. So, yes, I make shows run long, but today we have to try and be quick.
Yeah, now he wants to keep quiet. So
now I need to try and be quick.
now the fun begins because I'm feeling like a 4-hour show. I don't know about you guys. I think there's a lot to talk about. Let me repeat the same point 8 times in different ways, and we'll see where we land. Yeah.
Yes.
What have you been playing? You been playing any video games?
No. All I managed to do was finish High on Life.
Did you enjoy the end?
Yes,
With
I
the
beat
cameos?
Gargantuan.
Yeah.
Was it Gargantuan? His name, the final boss.
Yeah.
Is it a spoiler if I say who I laughed? Like I took a screenshot and it's on my captures. Is it a spoiler? Okay, for those of you who haven't beat High on Life, I'm about to spoil it a little bit, not in terms of story or anything. It's just a funny moment. There's 2 cameos from these actors, and the final boss is like, wasn't he like, this is your mum and dad or something?
Well, no,
Like,
all the way through, it's
mum and
led to
dad.
believe that your mum and dad are going to be the ones that he's got.
Yes. The boss leads you to believe that he's got your mum and dad captive, and then they pop up in these 2 tubes, and it's Susan Sarandon and Jack Black. And I'm like, what?
It's great, isn't it?
And he's like, then Kenny's like, that's not his mum. That's his parents. They're like, what? I was just like,
Everybody
oh my
loves
God.
these people. We don't know.
Yeah, everyone loves them. I thought that was
It's
pretty funny.
ridiculous.
And that was Jack Black and Susan Sarandon, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, Jack Black and Susan Sarandon both had parts in Rick and Morty. Susan Sarandon has been a repeat character. She plays a therapist that also, as well as family therapy, she treats people that like to eat poop.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm just
understandable.
doing collectible and achievement cleanup in High on Life.
Nice. I haven't been playing anything new as in new, but I have been playing something that's quite old. So 2K were kind enough to send me a little care package, and in it had a copy of The Quarry, which is a horror game that I was like, I really want to play this, but I don't know if I want to spend like 50, 60 quid on it because it's not in Game Pass. But yeah, booted that up and been playing that in co-op mode, which is really fun. Like you pass the pad back and forth, and it is like interacting with a teen horror movie. So I've been enjoying that and like kind of playing like a chunk at a time to try and get into the story a bit. But that's quite a good one. Instead of like vegetating in front of a TV show, it's like playing one in a better way than perhaps Dusk Falls was in some forms. But, yeah, worth a look. Really pretty as a game as well, like super pretty.
Yeah.
Miles is in the chat, and hello chat while we're here. Hi everyone.
Miles, good. I'm glad Miles has showed up to at least show some support when I got up at 5 a.m.
Miles, how do you keep Nick from talking all the time, constantly? How do you do it?
He didn't.
He didn't. He failed.
He didn't. I kept going back to stuff and like interrupting him and being like, earlier you said this, so then I'd start a tangent and go back to something.
Beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Speaking of things of beauty, it's pretty swish. Doing a review of this chair. Yeah. It's weird. I've only ever had really cheap basic chairs, so this feels quite nice.
When do I get a chair?
You got to start doing certain percentage of work, Nick. Certain percentage of work.
When do I get a chair? That's not fair.
Australia doesn't exist to a lot of these companies.
I did get that Xbox. See that Xbox exploded controller? I did get that.
You did.
That was one thing I got. That's really cool. That thing.
But yeah, it's quite nice. What else? I don't think there's much else for games, but we have a super chat from Banana Peel Jack, so we may as well answer that because
we have an earlier super chat from Faisal.
Oh, so we do. Sorry, Faisal, I missed you.
Yes. Happy New Year, folks. We were not on a break. I'm back though.
Yeah, I haven't seen Faisal for ages.
Yes.
We were on a break. Well, yeah, it's good to have you back.
Banana Peel Jack. Jesse, this is for you since John and Nick oddly have no interest in Diablo 4. That's not true. What is going to be your class?
I'm probably looking at Necromancer or Barb, but I'm not 100% sure because they all look really fun. It's going to be one of those things I'm going to get in. I'm going to try them all a little bit, see how it goes, and then make a final decision after playing for a bit.
I'm all about the Malays.
Diablo 4.
Yeah, Diablo 4 looks really, really pretty.
I bought Diablo 3. I didn't even buy Diablo 1 or 2, but I bought Diablo 3. And I know I'm saying it wrong. It's apparently Diablo. Or really, it's technically Diablo.
Diablo.
Yeah, Druid looks interesting, Spanish. Miles. I got to try them. All and see.
Yeah, I'll hopefully it'll come to Game Pass. Hopefully ABK is finally, because I mean we'll talk about it later, but
at the very least, if we get review codes, I'm going to ask for 4 or 6 depending on how many people.
Oh, good! I'll take one.
Yeah,
for the co-op things, I always ask. You rarely get them, but I always ask.
Yeah, it's nice to have because, and especially for teams that realize that, the best way to get a review out of this game is to play it with friends and test things out. But sometimes with live stuff, they might be like, "Oh, the servers aren't live yet," but then they're doing a beta and stuff like that for this beforehand anyway, right? So we'll see.
I think so.
Well,
I'm looking forward to it.
That's what we hoped leaked.
Spoiler alert. we're doing our top 10 most anticipated for 2023.
We are.
And Diablo's in mine. So, I have interest in Diablo.
Well,
I think people are just used to you guys not really playing anything.
Maybe.
I see how it's going to be, Jesse. It's going to be like that. I am. Yeah, fair enough. I play more than Nick might.
No, here's the thing. I physically play more than most people. I just play Rocket League. But in terms of actual time spent on a video game console playing games, I would wager that I would outdo most people, except possibly Jesse. Maybe.
Although saying that, when I was doing my top 10 anticipated, and seeing as the article that comes out is going to be the whole team's accumulated together into a general top 10, I'm happy to share mine for fun and conversational items to drag this past that 3-hour mark.
No.
But yeah, mine were number 10. The least I'm looking forward to? No, it's just number 10. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because I bounced off of the first one.
That's in mine.
And then I came back to it and then I ended up really enjoying it. RoboCop Rogue City, because the initial trailer had me peaked. And
I forgot that was a thing.
I know. Like, I was looking at the list and I was like, why hasn't this game on there? So I put it on there myself. Planet of Lana, because that's my kind of jam.
That's in mine.
Yep. Diablo 4.
That's in mine.
Number 6 is Starfield. I think.
No, that's not in mine.
I'm looking forward to it in that I am going to genuinely give this an honest college try and get into, a Bethesda RPG, because I've bounced off all of them before, but this is set in a genre I really like. So fingers crossed. And then number 5 is Cocoon, which is from Playdead.
Forgot about that one. Is that 2023 for sure?
Yeah, that was in the June showcase, so it's supposed to be first half of 2023.
Yeah, and it looks pretty far along.
Okay.
Number 4, and I can't believe this wasn't in anyone's lists, The Plucky Squire, which had one of the best trailers of last year.
Yeah, I forgot it again. Really, I forgot. It does.
None of you guys ever played RPG Time: Legend of Right. That game was fantastic and pretty similar to this one. It was phenomenal. You should get it and play it with your kids. If you don't, you're bad people.
But it's also
take it.
Yeah,
great game.
Maybe. But then the last case of Benedict Fox in number 3, which I think is your number 1.
That is my number 1.
And
I can't wait to review that one.
Replaced, which is like, that is totes my jam. I cannot wait to play Replaced. And number 1, shooting right up at the top, because co-op games are the most fun. And I love playing with friends, and obviously reading, and this segues us nicely. This is why I'm doing this. Segues us nicely into the Game Radar interview they did with the creators of Redfall over at Arcane. The biggest concern I had about Redfall prior to reading that interview was how the gunplay feels, because I played Deathloop and I was like, it's just not quite right. Sure, it's great on PC, but it doesn't feel right on console. Dishonored was the same. People get used to it and can overcome it and all of that, but you can't, if you don't get the shooting right in a shooting game, in my opinion, like it's a miss. And to read that they've actually brought in folks from id Software who have come in and helped nail that. They've hired FPS experts. I'm like, okay, now I am super excited, because that means
I thought based on the footage, based on the trailers we had seen, it did look like the gunplay was improved from past Arcane games. But
I do have to temper things a little bit. They have brought in id every time. They brought in id on like Fallout 4. They brought in id on.
Did they really? Jesse, what are you doing to me? Take your Redfall off the list.
I'm not saying this one's going to be worse or is not going to be better. They've gotten better every time. Like, it's been a slow progression. They always feel great on PC. Their mouse and keyboard for Arcane is beautiful. It's perfect. But the controller acceleration curves and the dead zones and everything have always just been really off to start with, especially at 30 FPS. But as they've gone on, they've gotten better and better and better. So even if it's a mediocre improvement over Deathloop, I still think it'll be, they got really close on Deathloop. It was almost there. It still relied a bit too much on auto aim, pulling you in when you look.
I don't know. I think from the trailer, it does look like the gunplay is decent. But we won't know till probably May.
I'm hopeful.
If they're trying to be like Far Cry, it won't be that decent. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Far Cry 6 actually had good gunplay.
It is, yeah. I was talking about this on Chatterdays earlier. It is unfortunate that they've now had to spend so much time telling people that it's not a Left 4 Dead clone, which is kind of a situation of their own making. Like I said with Miles, I'm like,
a sensible thing. I think this is a good thing.
No, it's good in that they're trying to dispel that myth, but it's a situation of their own making. Like, how did no one there see that first trailer was going to make people think it was a Left 4 Dead clone?
But that's my point. It's a good thing, and I think it was purposeful. And here's the reason why: Arcane games, Bethesda games, but particularly Arcane games, review fantastically, critically successful. Often aren't commercially successful, beloved by people that love the whole immersive sim genre that they excel in, but then they just fall over. And I think by initially portraying it in its first outing in that way, it gets the general masses interested, but then you get all the hardcore people on forums and podcasts going, oh, it's a Left 4 Dead clone. Then they come out and go, don't worry, guys, it's not. Here's why. But that first initial myth of it being a fun co-op shooter with your mates goes right on through to launch now. That won't go away for the general populace that has seen and seen that first footage.
Yeah,
I think that is one way that they are looking to find that success. Equal that, and they spoke about it in that interview on Games Radar, the whole Game Pass effect of I don't have to reach out to my friendship group and go, hey, who's getting Redfall? Who's spending 70 quid on Redfall? You know, anyone getting a party together. Every one of my pals is going to have it. We're going to go and have a fun weekend. We'll probably do a LAN for it, to be honest, to just play through and have a blast. But that is, I think, a clever someone. Maybe it might be just a mistake and they're just stupid. But I think it was purposeful, and I think it's going to work out better for them. I think it's probably going to be the most played Arcane game ever.
Probably. You know, I'm going to push him under the bus a little bit here because he's probably not watching our show anyway right now. But I'm going to push Gaz under the bus. I was watching Gaz just earlier, and they were talking about Redfall, and he was saying how it looks good, this, that, the other. But he's like, you know, I don't know if it's like it doesn't scream next gen. And I'm like, really? Like in my head, and I typed it out of the chat too. I'm like, really? It doesn't. I think that looks very next gen. Like, I think this game visually looks stunning. Like, I think that's one of the best looking things. Like, and it's the lighting that does it. People really don't realize what a difference lighting makes.
Lighting is everything
to a game. Like
lighting and art style.
You can have a game where the textures aren't the best, the model details not spectacular, you know, whatever. But if the lighting is spot on, it just elevates everything.
Yeah.
If your lighting is spot on. And in this game, the lighting looks
really
amazing.
Nice. I think as well, it's not a photorealistic trying to look, you know, like human beings. Real. It is stylistic, and that's fine.
It also runs at 60, and it's open world, and it's so like there's a certain expectation you need to have with how games like this are gonna like. Although I don't know what part of it they're saying, like the animation looks pretty good. I'm
sure it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hopeful it's going to be great. I can see we've got 150 plus folks watching right now, but only 39 likes. Makes me sad, man. Makes me sad.
I don't know.
I want more likes in my life. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. I deserve that, man. So hit that
hashtag Redfall looks great.
Yeah. Well,
really good.
What else? What else is on the agenda apart from Redfall looking lovely? Let me have a look on my little show notes.
Let's go with because this is something that I say oddly, but then I shouldn't be surprised. And I'm not. And again, this time I'm not going to push any other podcasts under the bus. But I've noticed a distinct lack of discussion around Sony's accessibility controller that they showed at CES?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm glad to see that they're finally doing this.
like
Project Leonardo, right? Is what they
yes,
were
I feel
calling
like
it internally.
more should be talking. Like it's a good thing. Like Microsoft was out on that island on their own for a long, long time with that accessibility controller.
And as they're not the market leader, they can't make as big an impact.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, in terms of how I think it looks and stuff, that's neither here nor there. I think it's a bit odd looking, personally. And from an accessibility standpoint, I'm trying to like the Microsoft one is this big giant
keyboard
thing with the two big buttons, and
you
then
can plug whatever you want into it.
Yeah. Now this one, I think they did a bad job showing the product photos, but it took me a while to dig in and see that this thing also has ports and jacks underneath, but they're like hidden underneath. So it's like, I feel like, so see, they're there, how they're like hidden underneath there. And I'm like, oh, I feel like they were worried about how it would look. So it's almost like not tried to hide them, but they've kind of, like, I don't know. The shape of it is a bit odd, and
it's two circles that are meant to be placed anywhere. From Token Aussie in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Is it really accessible if you can only use it with a PS5? I do think, like, didn't Microsoft they gave the patent out for free? They said, "Yeah, help yourselves."
Microsoft said they publicly called out's the wrong phrase, but they publicly spoke to or called out Sony and Nintendo saying, "Hey guys, we're happy to let you guys allow this thing or take ideas from it, steal the tech, do whatever you want with it. You know, we want accessibility for everyone." And as far as I know, the Xbox One works with anything that supports USB controllers.
Yeah, it says even you can use the Xbox One even with PlayStation consoles. So,
oh really? Oh well, there you go. Yeah, I think it's anything that allows a USB controller. I believe the Xbox One works with anything. I'd be surprised if Sony allowed that. Sony, I haven't read enough into it yet to see, but I'd be surprised if Sony allowed it to work on anything but a PlayStation and possibly a PC. I'm assuming you can use this thing on PC, surely, because you can use a DualSense on PC. So I would assume you can use it with a PC, but it's great that they're doing it. Now we just need Nintendo on board. Not that I'm holding my breath for Nintendo to jump on board.
I think they would be the first ones, right? But
I was thinking that myself. You'd think Nintendo would be right there with it. But I mean, if Microsoft, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo just went, yeah, we'll let the Xbox One work with the Switch. Just use the Xbox One, so we don't have to worry about making it ourselves. But it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good that Sony has. It's good that Sony. I shouldn't say pioneers. That you could almost call them industry leaders in accessibility.
Don't let the FTC hear you say that. They'll be coming straight up Microsoft butt crack for that one.
They're almost industry leaders in accessibility options for their software, for their games.
Sony have done really well though recently with their AAA releases.
Yes, and I think that's a part of the reason they're remastering stuff that came out last week, because they want to add those accessibility options that weren't there in the original releases. So it's good to see them now extend that accessibility to their hardware. Even to the point where now you can buy a PS5 if you walk into a store. So there you go. So that's
Speaking of new controllers, that wasn't the only thing that kind of emerged controller-wise out of CES.
No, that's right.
ASUS, Republic of Gamers, came out with a Raikiri wired controller with an Xbox OLED screen.
Yeah, a lot similar to that patent.
Very similar to that patent. I wonder if that's. Don't know if that's a conversation. It's wireless on PC if you've got Bluetooth. But that's what I don't get. It's got Bluetooth. Why not let it Bluetooth to the console?
Because Xbox doesn't have Bluetooth.
Yeah, Xbox has a Bluetooth chip on the board. It is not active because then they'd have to pay for the Bluetooth license on all of those consoles, and
So
and
why is
Sony.
it there?
It's a lot of money. It's part of those things. Generally, it ends up being a lot of money, which is why they don't. Neither company does it because it's big bucks.
But Sony has Bluetooth.
You can't just use any Bluetooth with PlayStation, though. I don't think
You can't just use, but like, put it this way: my PS5, when I put it in pairing mode, saw my Xbox headset. It just couldn't use it, but it saw it. So the Bluetooth
no
is
difference,
there.
really. Yeah, the Bluetooth is always there. They just don't want to pay the fee for it.
Interesting, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like, it's got it's like an elite controller variant, right? So it's got buttons on the back,
Sort of
stuff like that. I don't really see the point of having a
Neither do
OLED
I.
screen. Like, I'm never looking at my pad.
No, that's
I
right.
never look at my pad. My pad is an extension of me. I'm not looking down at it. I don't want to look down at it. I'm focusing on what's on the screen.
The only
in
time
front
I
of me.
did was the Wii U, and that was like the Wii U was designed with that in mind. The games were built around it, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
But this is just like VMU in 2023 kind of thing,
so what's the point?
effectively. Like, I don't know what would you put on that screen that you'd actually want to have down there that you would look away from the screen to look at?
The only thing I would say that you could put down there is if you have had invites and the splash has disappeared, it might show you like your last 5 notifications. That's the best I got. Because it's easier than pad, menu, down, A, to just be able to glance and go, oh, Nick invited me to go play Redfall. And then I can do that process. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, maybe.
Battery percentage, but it's on the screen.
Well,
the things that are built into it are battery percentage, if your microphone is muted, and like some wallpapers.
Okay, that's good then. Yeah, I didn't even think of the battery percentage. Like, in my head, I just had VMU style stuff. Yeah, the battery percentage makes sense. So you don't have to push your Xbox guide button to see how much battery you got.
Even just seeing the last 5 notifications is you press the Xbox button, you press right trigger, you press A. It's like under half a second to do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's muscle memory for me at this point, so it's a kind of useless feature. But I wonder if it point to Microsoft doing something as per that patent at some point down the line, right? Because you've heard some things about new controllers, right? Haptics and
the touchpad and the haptics. I wish that same person that told me that also said gyro. I'd like gyro in there, but I'm looking. Yeah, see, that's the thing, and that's my fault for being super tired and not thinking properly. But yeah, in my head with this OLED display, I kept thinking of in-game stuff, not realizing that no, not in-game. What about basic stuff like battery life, like Anorexic just said, which player you are on a couch multiplayer title.
Yeah,
are you player 1, so it has a number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Color-coded. Yeah, I didn't even think of all that stuff. Yeah. How much is it?
No price yet.
I am Mike in the chat. I'd have the Halo TV show streaming into it 24/7 on a tiny little screen. Classic.
That'd be fun. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense.
Yes.
Have you noticed that with all the Xbox third-party controllers these days, pretty much all of them, they appear to use the same moldings as the original?
As the original, the first Xbox One?
No, as just as the official Xbox controller. Sorry, I should have said official.
I haven't noticed. No, is that
look up Razer's? If you go look up Razer's controllers, they look exactly like the official controllers. That one there looks almost. I mean, it's obviously a touch taller because of the OLED screen, but outside of that, it's exactly like an original Xbox controller, an official Xbox controller.
Interesting.
I feel like I'm assuming there's something going on there. With Microsoft,
maybe if it's a certified for Xbox badge, they have access to. If you get that partnership, you have access to their moldings or their design patents in some form. I don't know.
Aaaand Zagan, I get you if it ain't broke, but if you look at PlayStation's third-party controllers, they all just look different. Each one looks completely different. No one, I think only Scuff uses the same shell effectively as the DualSense.
Yeah, well, that's because Scuff mod existing controllers. They take them apart and add their stuff and charge you lots of money.
But yeah, with all the third-party Xbox controllers, they all look like an official controller in terms of the shape and the moldings and everything like that. So I found that interesting. I just wish... I'm still curious as to what's going on with Hyperkin. Like why Hyperkin uses wired for all of theirs, where others seem to have no issue with wireless.
Well, no, I don't think there's any wireless third-party Xbox pad.
Yes, there is.
Which one?
Razer. Razer's is wireless.
Is it?
Yep.
They probably paid for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
like the
maybe
Razer controllers, if it wasn't for Razer's logo on there, you would just think it's an Xbox controller.
Interesting.
Like straight up.
Hey, did you know that we broke 17,000 followers on Twitter this evening? It's nice, isn't it? It's a nice number. As you know, I like numbers. I like numbers
Must be that check that we pay for.
Yeah. Did you know that we've got over 200 people watching right now, and yet only 75 likes, 76 likes? It's almost like people are listening. 77 likes, 100 likes or bust, people minimum. Anyway, what else?
More likes, please. Hit that like button.
Let's talk about some game part. No, let's talk about some more physical stuff. A long time ago, Nick, there was a rumor that everyone ran away with, and you said and kind of implied that you said it was coming like this year, and you're like, no, I just said it's coming, and it was a collection. It was a collection of venerable Coalition / Unreal Engine powered games called Gears of War.
I got in trouble for saying Gears collection in the end, but yes, I eventually alluded to the fact that it was a Gears collection.
Yes.
Turns out though, a different kind of Gears collection came along. Oh my god!
A card
did you
game.
See that
even press a button. Always fun when OBS crashes without you actually pressing anything. Just sitting there watching, all of a sudden it all freezes, and you're like, what the fuck?
Oop. Look at that, we're back. We're back, just like that. Sorry, audio listeners. There was a momentary outage on the YouTube platform. We're back. Yeah. Sorry about that. So Gears of War card collection, apparently rumored from 2 years ago, or was
it was like
announced?
2 years ago. There was mentioned of a Gears of War card game.
Wow.
And I guess there it is. I mean, Jesus.
Cool.
Great. Okay.
Do you still believe there's an actual Gears games collection coming still?
There is. I don't care what Rand says. I don't care what Jez says. I don't care what any of them say. This is the problem. Like I said, I got in trouble for mentioning Gears because it was so early. That's why when that rumor mill first happened, I was only supposed to say an Xbox franchise, another one is going to get that Master Chief style treatment because it was so early on.
Yeah.
And then I stupidly had a moment of weakness in a later episode and was like, Gears. Which I should not have done because it was way too early for me to say anything. Like I said, in 3 years, that was the one and only time I got in trouble with the source. The one and only single time.
They were not happy. They were not happy bunny rabbits.
They were not. They still mention it to this day. They were like, you said that too early. They still say it to this day.
Slapped wrist.
But yes, I'm not backing down. I don't care what Jez and Rand say. I'm not backing down.
Oh,
it's still happening.
Love a bit of Rand. Lovely bloke, isn't he, Rand?
Yeah.
Rand Al Thor.
No, the treatment, no, Emil, the treatment was not about a card game. The card game and my thing are two unrelated things.
Yeah.
My thing is still happening. This card game is something else altogether. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, everyone guessed Gears anyway, right? But whatever.
Yes, pretty much everyone guessed Gears.
Yes.
Pretty much everyone.
And the only other thing as well, I think news-wise, was Hitman 3 had a little bit of a shift around, a little bit of a rename.
Wasn't that odd? Wasn't that odd?
The world of Assassination.
So safe to say, so if they've renamed Hitman 3 to Hitman World of Assassination and chucked 1 and 2 in with it, safe to say that there will be no future Hitman game. And it's a platform going forward.
Which is release content.
Hitman, and they'll just continue to, they'll update the engine and update the graphics and add more maps and add more missions and
Perhaps so.
That's what this says to me.
Hitman 3
why else would
already
they do that?
was a platform. Like it already was this. You just had to have owned 1 and 2 separately. Now they're just giving you 1 and 2, but not all the DLC for 2 and 3. But you can buy those cheap, and in the future you can see. And I think it makes it less confusing for people because it already was the Hitman platform. But now this makes it very clear that hey, you want to play all 3 of the Hitman games? It's just right here for you.
It was a really good game as well, and all of them were really good. And that's an incredible package, to be honest with you. It's well worth a playthrough. Is it on Game Pass?
Yeah, Hitman 3 is on Game Pass.
Hitman 3
is
on
it
Game
really?
Pass.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's been on there about a year. We'll see if it's leaving at the end of this month.
Yeah. We haven't had our Game Pass stuff yet.
No, I asked Megan on Twitter, and she said they haven't forgotten. They're still working on it, but still nothing this week.
Here's a conversation that I think we should have.
Yeah.
Spidey senses are tingling across the interwebs. Do you think Microsoft are going to have a show in January?
God, I just had this discussion with Miles.
Well, buckle up, motherfucker. It's round 2.
It's that's the rumor apparently, which started from Colt. It was Colt that apparently mentioned the 10th. And that somehow grew legs. And then I'm just going to tell this story again. I'm just going to tell this story again for those that didn't watch Miles' show. So, you know that Twitter account, No Context to Brits?
Yes, I love that Twitter account.
So that Twitter account posted a tweet saying, what's your favorite word in the English language? Or what's the most beautiful word in the English language? Or something like that.
Moist.
So the word I wanted to put was see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a great one.
And what I did was I typed it out that way. I said, see you next, and type the word next, and then T Tuesday. And people started like replying to me and quote tweeting me saying, Xbox show next Tuesday. And I'm like,
wow, that's a reach.
What?
That's a reach.
I was like, no, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. And then people are like, oh, yeah, sure you don't. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So once again, for the record, if there is an Xbox show announced next week on Tuesday, I am not going to turn around and go, haha, I secretly knew. I didn't. For the record, I know nothing. If it happens next Tuesday, don't take my see you next Tuesday tweet as a sly tease that I knew about this show. I know nothing about a show on Tuesday. All I ever got told was Q1. Sometime in Q1, there's meant to be a show. That is the plan. Jeff Grubb heard Jan Feb. So that's part of Q1. That's it. I don't know if it'll be January. I thought they might want to go closer to E3 than January.
I think, he says, that they recently hired some new folks, right, to do studio live presentation stuff, right? So they recently hired a new team.
Miles mentioned that.
Yeah. They've been very quiet. We had Aaron Greenberg, why were you not at the Game Awards? What's going on? And he said, don't worry, you'll hear from us very soon. So I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a thing. I feel like it's going to be a thing. I think that we're going to see something. I think an announcement of a show next week for later on in January is not outside of the realms of possibility, because
I'm sure it's possible.
I mean, look at the interview of the Redfall guys. They were like, we can't wait to get this in people's hands. Well, it sounds pretty damn ready to me. We want to get it out the door. We know that we're hearing lots of stuff on Starfield recently about how well that's playing and shaping up and how pleased Bethesda are with it.
So I see Jesse has tried to put a little bit of a cat amongst the pigeons here, going, real curious why Game Pass is delayed for January. I spoke about this. People are coming back from holidays. Like, I don't
They were last year, too, when they did it the very first Tuesday of January. They had a regular Wave 1 drop last year.
Maybe they've been gone longer. I don't know. Like,
They've had games come out. They've put 2 games into Game Pass this month and not.
That's right. And look at the way they did it. Look at the way they did it. To me, that says no one's here. The dude that gets the coffee just quickly put out a tweet.
No, I don't buy that. Those were long ago scheduled tweets for deals that were already done. I do wonder if the mistake of putting Hot Wheels in last month has made them reevaluate and making sure everything is ready to go when they do a Game Pass blog. Because we've talked to Megan before in the Discord, and sometimes like, oh, why isn't this thing that hit Game Pass a week after your blog in the blog? And she's like, well, sometimes the deals just come together really quick. So I wonder. I know they got a really nice long vacation, which is not the norm for the US, and is very nice to see. But I mean, it was pretty similar last year, and they had a blog last year. So I'm just curious why. What has changed? I'm fine. We know there's a bunch of things coming. We know Monster Hunter Rise, Persona 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Incaluminati, the name I can never remember. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. They're all coming later in the month. I'm just curious. That's all.
Just asking questions. I think as well, if they're going to do an Xbox Direct, the 2023, this is the year, right? Everyone made this big fuss about the fact that they didn't show up at the Game Awards. Now they have the opportunity to, but they also have, in theory, the games to back it up now. And I'd like to see, like, if Redfall is coming out, I think there was a leak, right? Was it May something?
Yes.
A leak last week, May.
May.
If that's accurate, great. If it's not, and it's earlier, as an example, I'd love to see them. Okay, yeah, it's the Redfall Direct, it's the Starfield Direct, and let's start hammering in. And you have the big focus on the big game from your studio, and then you do your other Game Pass stuff as a show. Blog posts are great. Have the blog posts still do their thing, but show all of these games that are coming to the subscription every quarter. Why not? If you've got the first party games to back it up, let's start seeing it in action.
Well, they did. They built a whole new team. That team led by Tina Meany. I imagine that's probably what they're doing. But you know how Microsoft is as a company, and nothing's ever fast. It's always very slow.
I still think Redfall should try and come out in April.
I would love to see Redfall Q1, to be honest with you. That would be really useful.
But April is empty. April is pretty much empty. In May, if you're a game releasing in May, from a social media and marketing perspective, you might as well not exist. You might as well not exist.
What?
Because on the 12th of May, Legend of Zelda comes out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So no other game will exist in May. Like there's only 2 games coming out this year that I think could go toe to toe with Zelda for that attention, and that's Spider-Man 2, and Starfield.
Yeah,
like that's it. That's nothing else.
That's the first time in a long time where all 3 platform holders are like.
What about 2021?
What did they have in 2021? That was
Microsoft had Halo and Forza Horizon 5. Sony had. Sony didn't have anything. Oh, actually, yeah, just Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, but that's not. I'm talking of that sphere.
Yeah. I forgot that they didn't have. For some reason in my head, I think it's because I saw the God of War original trailer was saying 2021. I just had in my head 2021.
So it's the first time in a while that's happened, and it's going to be like that's an interesting game of the year conversation, right? Will all the Nintendo lovers win out and vote for Zelda?
Zelda's got it. Don't even worry about it. Zelda has Game of the Year. Like, it's Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom. Don't even
Be an interesting conversation to have this December
even
next year. This year,
stress yourself. Let me take away all the angst about
There's
Game
no
of the
angst.
Year
I don't give a
discussion
shit.
for later. No, not from you. Just you let me take away all the angst for everyone for the Game of the Year discussion later in the year. It's Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Don't even worry about it. Don't even. I know it's not your Game of the Year or Jesse's or anyone that watches this podcast. I'm just telling you that is what will win Game of the Year.
I understand why you think that, and I do think it's absolutely got a solid chance. But Starfield's pretty big. Spider-Man 2, it's a big IP. Spider-Man 2, like,
but Jeff runs the Game Awards.
So
don't worry about Starfield. Don't worry about Starfield. Yes, Starfield will win all the Xbox Game of the Year awards. No worries. And it'll win a lot of media outlet Game of the Year awards.
But it won't win the Keeleys.
It ain't winning the Game Awards. It ain't winning the Keeleys. Don't even bother yourself there. And Spider-Man 2, it'll be huge.
Because it's a big IP, but as a game?
But I don't know if
is it pushing the boat out? Is he going to be doing something new? Or is it just going to be zoom over here and beat up some dudes and then zoom over here and beat up some more dudes?
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 16, like Aaaand Zagan said, that's probably a shot. And then you've got to have your token indie. So that'll probably be replaced or Benedict Fox.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to have your token indie. But yeah, Link is taking that award home. Don't even stress yourselves about it.
Even
let me
Keeley.
get that out of the way now.
Even from the Keeley.
Yep. Tears of the Kingdom.
We'll see, my friend. There's lots of big games. It's an insane year. It's going to be bonkers. It's going to be absolutely nuts. I don't even know.
But what if Microsoft has like nothing in the second half? Then what happens? What happens?
Oh my god!
What happens?
What?
Are we going to hear articles about how Microsoft Xbox has no games just because the second half doesn't have anything?
There's no way Microsoft would go second half. What we know this year: Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, Starfield, Redfall,
all first half. All first half.
All before June.
Yes.
That's
allegedly. All before June. Allegedly.
I love it.
Now, irregardless of how we feel about that release schedule, a lot of people were giving me some crap on Miles' show. I think Ark 2 will be their second half of the year game.
It won't be their headline game. It will be a big game because lots of people play Ark, even though it's fucking unoptimized.
But it's an exclusive. It's an exclusive, though. It's a big exclusive that they're going to probably market like a first-party game. See, everyone's laughing again, just like on Miles' show. I'm not saying Ark 2 is going to be like this amazing game.
I don't think Ark 2 will drop this year for a start.
Oh, really?
I don't think it will.
You don't think?
No. I think if Ark 1 was an unoptimized piece of poop for a long, long time, and arguably still is super rough, but it's played because it's survival and dinosaurs, and people love that shit.
Yeah.
Right. Ark 2, I think Microsoft will try and if they're helping fund this in any sort of way,
I think they are.
Then there'll be a big focus on quality control. They've heard that loud and clear.
It's Unreal Engine, though. It's Unreal Engine.
Yeah, which is it Unreal 5? It is, isn't it?
I think so.
We'll see. Q4 game is Banjo 3. You keep that spirit alive, Jonathan M. I like it.
Again, this isn't about me thinking Ark is going to be amazing. Or
no,
I probably won't even play Ark, although it'll be on Game Pass. So I may give it a go. My thing with Ark is I think Microsoft will treat it like a first-party game, and they'll pump that as their game for the second half of the year, because unless there's a surprise like Hellblade or something, what else do they have for the second half of the year? They don't have anything. Unless ABK's gone through and they've got COD for the second half of the year.
Well, let's play a game here. Let's play a game, Nick. Okay. We know lots of stuff has been announced. Lots of stuff is in the dock, right? If we're living in a world where Microsoft releases Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield all before E3.
Yeah.
Right, June, E3, June time, end of May, June, E3-ish, right?
Always June. Yeah.
What are they going to release? What out of both unannounced, so surprise, here's a game, it's coming out in 3 months, to announced games do you think are going to land this year? What's your prediction?
Hellblade's the only one that has a chance, realistically.
You reckon, Hellblade? I think that's a pretty
think about
strong
it.
contender.
Avowed, we've seen nothing but a CG trailer.
True,
Fable,
but I have seen screenshots of gameplay.
Contraband, we've seen nothing but that trailer.
Yep.
IOI's game is a rumor.
Yep. It's a project name.
Yep. Compulsion, we don't even know what they're working on.
But equally, Microsoft, what if some of these studios, I know we don't know what they're working on, but what if some of these studios, like Compulsion, do a Playground Games and go, here's the new game, it's coming out in 3 months, boom. Like Forza Horizon 5.
That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
I think Compulsion could be one of those. I do. I think it could be.
What about Roundhouse?
Roundhouse out of nowhere.
Still don't know what those guys are doing. Yeah, there's stuff I've been told, but I don't know. I still, to me, the only thing first party that could realistically be a surprise 2023 game to me is Hellblade. That's the only one. It's the only one. They've been working on it now for at least 3 years. Minimum 3 years, if not more. Because we first saw its trailer in 2019. So we're now 3 years later from 2019. And that's just the trailer, which means it's not like they started working on it that day. They started working on it prior to that. Now, I understand COVID screwed them a bit because they were moving offices at the same time that COVID hit.
Yep.
But I don't think Hellblade 2 is going to be this massive open world thing. As far as I can tell, it's going to be a fairly linear. Yes.
I'm picturing 8 to 10 hours of very tight.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Heavy narrative, one and done. And I want it to be that. Don't get me wrong. I want it to be.
Same here. I like the first Hellblade. If Hellblade 2 can be Hellblade 1 on steroids, I'll take it.
I would like a little bit more fleshing out combat-wise. Like the combat was serviceable.
That's what I meant. When I said on steroids, I mean better visuals, better production value, fleshed out combat, a bit more whatever, like just on steroids.
Yep.
Hellblade 2 is the only thing that I could see potentially as a surprise.
What about like Brit in the chat? And I was thinking the same thing, so I'll read it out. Maybe some surprise 1 versus 100 remake, boom, out of nowhere. Because that's the thing. We say no. We're talking AAA releases here, and we're narrowing that, but broaden that focus to smaller Game Pass driven experiences. So when I think about Project Compulsion's game, what if it is very tight, perfect, in and out? It could be single player, whatever it is.
I'm fine with that.
But those are the games that I don't want to call them AA, but they are very refined, focused, built to service that subscription value, but still can be a 2023 release. I mean,
like an Evil West,
like that, yeah.
Like a polished Evil West. That's okay. I'm fine. I love that sort of stuff. I'm okay.
Gears Collection could be a 2023 release.
No. Nope. I was hoping they'd probably announce it this year. I was hoping they'd at least announce it this year, and we've only just started 2023, so we have time. But no, that's not releasing. That will not be releasing this year.
Do you think we'll see gameplay of Fable, Perfect Dark, Avowed? You don't think we'll see nothing more?
Maybe Avowed.
Because that was a big rumor coming into the end of the year, wasn't it? Avowed. We're going to see Avowed.
Well, now the rumor is Fable, remember? We didn't even put that in the show notes. Apparently,
I can that whole Fable rumor I can categorically say is not true.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything, but I could say it wasn't true based on what the hell that rumor said. It was like it started with starting from scratch. I'm like,
No.
Okay, like, all right, let's live in a world where this is true. Fine. Okay. New engine. All right, well, that kind of aligns with starting from scratch. Like, if they have to completely switch engines, then potentially, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know. But if it needs a brand new engine, which is Unreal, maybe they do have to start from scratch. Maybe there's no compatibility. Okay, cool. I'm on board for this conspiracy theory too. No worries. Starting from scratch, Unreal Engine. But it's still coming out 2024. I'm like, what? This game's been in development for probably 5 years and it's not out yet, but they're going to start from scratch in 2023 and it's going to be out by 2024. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Amit Kumar in the chat with, I would assume Gears Collection would come out around when the Gears TV show movie come out for maximum potential. That's a really good shout. You know, if maybe that deal's being worked out and hey, we'll do a repackaged versions of the games and it can drop
that would make sense. Before you watch this show, relive the classics.
Yeah.
The classics. But yeah, that Fable thing was just, oh my God, seriously.
Yeah.
What is it with that game and everyone wants to go all in on it?
I don't think it's the game; it's the platform. Unfortunately, if there was a rumor that dropped that said Fable development's going really well and everything's great, everyone would just fucking ignore it.
Who cares?
But there's some negativity to talk about. Let's fucking go! You know, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It is very silly.
You know who started all this negativity about Fable? Gaz.
Yeah, it's all that game on Daly's fault.
Gaz started it.
Gaz. The source.
Gaz.
Yeah.
It was all Gaz.
Honestly, weren't they the guys that also said that Bungie were getting acquired like two years ago or something?
Yeah.
Something
like that.
Oh, it's japes, isn't it? It's japes. Any other fun predictions? While we're on the subject.
No, I can't think of anything else. Like I said, to me, Hellblade 2 is the only realistic one. As in, that could come out. Because again, they've shown gameplay. So of all these studios that haven't really shown much, Ninja Theory has shown, quote unquote, gameplay. Yeah. So you have to assume Hellblade 2. If there's anything, it's Hellblade 2. I'm
super intrigued. It's going to be an interesting time. If I were Microsoft and I had all 4 games, I wouldn't release them all in the first 6 months. I would be like one every 3, once a quarter. But
the problem is they've painted themselves into a corner, haven't they? So I mentioned this on Chatterdays. Like, Microsoft needs to stop doing this. They need to stop painting themselves into a corner and saying things like we still get people on Twitter and in YouTube comments saying, oh, but I think with their shows now, they're going to be like only 12 months ahead. And it's like, they never said that. They never said that going forward
one
in perpetuity.
Show.
Yeah. They
you
never
think
said
they'll do
going
that this
forward
year? 3-3?
Because they paint themselves into a corner. Because look what's happened now. They've had that show where they said the next 12 months. So everyone has now, they're holding them to the fire going, well, hold on. You can't have Forza, Redfall, or Starfield in the second half of the year. Because it was at that show where you said the next 12 months.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's not a binding contract. Who cares?
Our intention is to keep
okay, so what? Sometimes games get delayed. Sometimes game trailers say 2021 and then the game comes out end of 2022. Like, big deal. Like, okay. So to me, it's not about wanting to delay these games. It's just about spacing out the releases. Like, I personally don't care. If all their games release in the first half, I don't have to play them in the first half.
No.
I can play them in the second half. That's fine. But I understand the media world we live in now, and I understand how gamers work.
Instant gratification.
You have to have it spaced out because, God forbid, someone doesn't play a game day one. Have to play it day one. Otherwise, why are we even here, right?
Yep.
It's
true.
So I understand that angle. And yes, in an ideal world, space them out. But then are you also going to give them shit if they delay them from when they promised in the first half? So this is why Microsoft needs to just learn and say, well, just don't paint yourself into a corner.
Yeah.
And say things that do that. So, the only game, I don't know, game delays happen all the time. So is there a reason that Starfield couldn't be moved to November?
No,
Is there an
they
actual
could
reason it can't be?
they could just come out and say, yeah, it's still not ready. Sorry guys, it's November now. They could just do it. But I think they're very aware of the impact that messaging would have on subscriptions, on image, on all of that stuff. So they won't do it.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. I don't think they will either. I'm just saying. And I get what Aaaand Zagan is saying, which is people are getting antsy because they've been waiting for so long. But I don't know. Like when we look back on 2023, right? When we look back in 10 years' time and say, God, look at what Microsoft released in 2023. It's just going to say Starfield, Redfall, Forza Motorsport, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to say April 2023 was this, and in June they had this, and then they had nothing for the second half. No, you're just going to see the list of games.
Yeah.
Like it's
a very silly toy.
I feel like it's all very much just a social media driven thing.
Yeah.
Because as we know, if they have nothing in the second half, Polygon, Kotaku, IGN, they'll all write articles about how Microsoft has no games in the second half of the year. In the year of 2023 when they were supposed to have everything.
Nintendo have Tears of the Kingdom announced, right? For this year.
Yep.
Is that it?
That's all I can. Oh, Kirby's return.
Isn't that a remaster
game or something coming?
Isn't
Kirby's Dream Land?
It's a remaster
of a Wii game. Yeah.
Okay. Sony have Spider-Man 2.
That's it.
What else?
Sony
VR,
now we're talking about
PSVR. They have PSVR too.
Yeah. Okay.
But okay, so it's going to be interesting. Let's see. Let's keep an eye on the media, folks. Let's keep an eye on things.
Oh, they won't say a thing.
Let's see if we have any...
There's Pikmin 4, so that's big for them. I have zero interest in Pikmin 4, but Pikmin 4 is supposed to be 2023, and that is a big deal. It's a big deal in the same way Animal Crossing was a big deal. So you know how Animal Crossing, like basically no one in the hardcore sphere was like, what? Animal Crossing? And that game has sold like 40 million copies.
Oh, yeah. It's exploded during the pandemic.
I assume Pikmin will be in that vein. They've got Fire Emblem Engage. Again, big deal in the Nintendo world. So that's 3 games. 4 games, really, if you count Kirby. So that's what Xbox has, 4 games. Actually, no, Xbox has more because they've got Age console port. What else? Age 2 console port. Microsoft actually has quite a lot this year. Jesus,
Age 4,
first half. It's all first half. All of it.
It's going to be fucking insane. I don't even know how we're going to do all this, Jesse. I don't know, but hey, I've got to call him out.
Who's we?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to help out where I can. Token Aussie, John. I thought we weren't picking media fights. I don't pick media fights in writing and publish articles. This is a conversational podcast. I'm allowed opinion. Aura History Untold as well is another one for this year. That's coming out. This is crazy. I'll tell you what else Microsoft are hoping to do this year, and that is regardless of whether the FTC approve or otherwise.
Irregardless.
Supposedly.
Irregardless.
A whole nother reason for Microsoft to celebrate is they're going to close the Activision Blizzard King acquisition,
whether they like it or not,
whether the FTC have approved or otherwise. And it's an interesting one. This is how I understand it. And keep me honest here, chat. Keep me honest here, Nick, Jesse. But this is effectively Microsoft saying, we're going to close this. If you actually think you have a chance in court, see you in federal court. Because the only way that you can actually stop us is by going to federal court and making your case. And you don't.
This is what people don't understand. FTC can't block anything.
Yeah.
FTC can sue to try and stop it, but the FTC doesn't actually have any. Like if Microsoft just says, no, June 30, we own ABK. Like we don't care what you say. And I'm sure Microsoft didn't want to get to this point.
Yeah.
But it seems that their hand is being forced. And they're like, well, okay, enough effing around now. Come
enough
June,
effing and jeffing.
We're going to own ABK whether you like it or not. If you want to try and take it off us in court, yeah, good luck with it. Yeah, nah.
And it's interesting. So we've seen the CMA and the European Commission kind of more or less aligned, delaying their phase 2 results decision to April. Yeah. Now, one could assume, because then we saw, I'm paraphrasing here, and keep me honest, people, if you want to correct me or keep me a little bit more accurate. But I'm paraphrasing here. But what I've read is that effectively Microsoft hinted at, hey, if we get approval from these guys, we're willing to bring whatever concessions we've made to the European Commission and to the UK CMA authority over and do that in the US too for you guys. Let's have that conversation. And the FTC's, solicitor responded to say, oh, we're always willing to have the conversation. But right now, there's no substantive talks in place. So it sounds to me, and I'm just reading the tea leaves here a little bit, like Microsoft, because you've got to remember everything's delayed. Everything that they're conversing about now will be revealed in a month or two or whatever. But I have a sneaking suspicion Microsoft have got what they've wanted, which is approval with, the 10-year Call of Duty deal, whatever. And I think it was always Microsoft's intent to continue to release Call of Duty. Like, I know, Nick, you and I disagreed on that a little bit, but Microsoft, from their point of view, if they were always going to do it, and all that Sony have asked for is a guaranteed contractual obligation to do so, Microsoft, like, yeah, sure, we still get to do this. We still get to put our games on Game Pass. If that all comes to pass, the acquisition closes on the day that they want it to close, which is in June 23rd, I think. Think about if they time their E3 conference, maybe they delay it, maybe they do it in July and they time it
and announce it,
and boom, it's closed, and boom, all of these games, all on Game Pass right now, every card, man.
There's a lot going on with it. Like, I'm just trying to find.
It's insane.
There's comparisons to some Axon suit.
Rand's in the chat. The best.
Is he?
The best host.
Nick didn't even ask me. Oh my God. Is he for real right now? He didn't even ask me to be on. I ask him like every 2 weeks and he's like, oh, I can't. Or, oh, I'll jump on when there's something.
Should we get Rand on now? Rand, jump on. Let's go.
Come on, jump on.
Set it up. Let's go.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
And jump on. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you the bloody StreamYard link. Come on.
Here you go. Let's go. Let's get Rand in the chat.
I'll send you the stream, like, gutless. Let's see. Gutless. So look. Gutless. He won't jump on. Here you go. There's your link in Discord, mate. Jump in. See if you got a pair of balls on you. Go on.
Is Rand coming?
Is he gonna
Here we go. There's a drum roll.
I'm not seeing the 3 dots. I'm not seeing the 3 dots in Discord.
Getting disappointed.
I'm not seeing the 3 dots.
Oh, I'm out. I'm walking the dog. I'm busy.
I'm feeling sick. I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling sick.
Oh God, I'm dying.
Yeah, where is he?
Yeah, Rand's just done the phone thing where he's just swiped down and looks at the notification. Oh! Rand Al Thor is in the chat.
I'm not feeling well, mate. What do you think happens when you call me out? I join.
So that's what it took. That's what it took for you to join.
I was listening. I was like, man, Jesse, I could have sworn I heard Nick making all the same exact points on another podcast earlier today. It's like deja vu.
Or podcast.
Yeah.
I said that myself. I said that I'm repeating myself because I've been on so many shows lately. When am I coming on yours? When am I doing the Patreon exclusive one?
I don't know. Eventually.
January. I'm off. I'm off this month.
Well, we have someone in mind for January, but it's not special Nick.
I'm free and available.
It's the guy who reviewed 100 games for XboxEra. You know, he's.
Is it only one a month?
Yeah, it's just one.
Okay.
Well, we do two, but one of them is just me and Jazz, and it's just Patreon exclusive. The other one is with a guest that is exclusive for a week, and then it goes to live to everybody everywhere.
Okay, fair enough.
How you doing, Rand?
Okay.
I'm doing good, John. How you doing?
I'm in good spirits, my friend. I'm in good spirits.
Yeah?
Nice. Did you see this? Look.
Yeah. Did they custom make it for you?
It's a review chair, but yeah, they said, do you want some customization? And obviously I need to check out the stitching quality. Which I'm quite impressed with. So yeah, it's quite nice. We were just talking about
ABK.
We were just talking about ABK.
Oh God! All right, I'm leaving later, guys. Talk to you.
But we were just talking about Xbox's show, and I know you and Jez spoke a little bit about this on the Xbox 2, and you had some predictions.
Yeah, it's 2020. It's 2023. Where are the predictions? Where are your predictions? Where's Nick's predictions?
We just spoke them.
We're just having them.
Oh, you're just having them? I missed that.
Yeah. Well,
we're just talking about what we think might come in the second half and all that sort of stuff.
And I didn't watch Xbox 2 this week. I've been too busy, unfortunately. But
that's okay. I could give you the rundown. I remember mine because with the Xbox 2, I'm always prepared, and Jez literally strolls in like 5 minutes before the shows.
Audio problems.
And always audio problems. And he joined, and he's like, hold on, bro. I need to write an article, which he clickbaited, and it was like, a new Gears game has been announced. ... But it's not what you think. Right?
Clickbaited it.
And Google rewarded him, he was saying. Google rewarded him because Google rewards clickbait. So I told Jazz like an hour before the show, or we were doing predictions, think of some, and he's like, no. I'm like, so I wrote mine down, right? My predictions for the year, there's going to be an Xbox showcase at the end of this month. It was prediction 1.
Yep.
These, what my predictions and my guesses? These are all just predictions, Nick. Okay. What was the other one? This is going to be the year Xbox does individual showcases for games. So Starfield will get its own showcase. Redfall will get its own showcase. Stuff like that, right? Things that people have, asked for, right? What was another one? Hellblade 2 will be launching this fall in September, I think was one.
So you do think Hellblade 2 will be this year?
Well, it's more because I want it to be true. I'm trying to will it into existence, Nick. Just like you tried to will GoldenEye 20, to come out last year, right?
Oh yeah, GoldenEye should be the fall game.
Oh Jesus!
Xbox.
You mean the fall game?
No, that should be the fall game, mate. GoldenEye. That'll just.
I'm surprised it's not out yet. What's Nintendo waiting for?
I don't know. I mean, why hasn't Metroid Prime HD come out yet? I mean, that shit's been ready for ages.
Starfield, when it comes out, will have a 90 meta and will be launching in April.
Really?
You reckon April?
90 meta?
Well, you see, the thing is, it's saying it's coming in June isn't really a sexy prediction, right?
No, it's not.
Because it's like it's the very end of when it could possibly come out. And I want it at least to be somewhat sexy, plus, throwing things that might be wrong. So I was just like, you know what? You're not going to launch it in May because Redfall's May. It's like, why not? Why couldn't Starfield be ready for April?
Redfall being May, how confident is that rumor? Jez broke that one, right? He said confirmed sources May 20.
I told you. Akami showed me his thing.
Yeah.
He showed it to me.
I asked Jez if he got the info from Akami, and he said no, he got it something else. So
if Redfall's May, what do you think the order of releases is for those? So you got
Forza.
Minecraft Legends, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield.
In a perfect world, Starfield's April, Redfall's May, Forza Motorsport's June. And then Minecraft
Legends is
late May. See, Minecraft Legends, I think they're going to release on the same day they released Minecraft Dungeons, which was end of May, like May 26th or May 28th.
So you're not thinking, one every 2 months out of the 6 months window that they've got.
Well, I mean, they painted themselves
in January and February.
January is Age of Empires 2.
Yeah. Okay. So Age of Empires 2.
February.
It's an RTS on console.
What about H4? What about H4?
H4 is, I think, end of the year. They didn't date it.
There's their second half of the year game.
Yeah, they just said 2023, so that's probably end of the year. Well, Ghostwire Tokyo's March.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
So, in a perfect world, it would be Age of Empires 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, Starfield, but you just don't know, because a lot of people think that because Redfall got delayed, that Starfield it's not possible for Starfield to leapfrog it, right? Even though I don't know why one getting pushed further has any who knows, how much of a delay. Well, because Todd said in the interview they could have released Starfield on 11/11/22.
Yeah,
he said in the thing, he was just, we could have released it, but they wanted it to make it a more polished game. So realistically, I think I texted it. Well, I said it in the chat to Miles, and I was halfway joking. I said 2 possible release dates. 1, give the middle finger to Sony and release Starfield the day before the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, so Horizon's forgotten for the second time, right?
Isn't it releasing near Zelda anyway?
No, it's about a month apart.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, and then the other one was release Starfield on the day before Final Fantasy 16 to give the middle finger to Square Enix.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
That would be brutal.
But I mean,
when does PSVR 2 launch?
I think end of February.
That would be fun. Same day.
I don't know. There's a part of me when I look at the dates, because they're filling up, right? March is full. March is completely full. March has got Wolong Dynasty on the 1st, and then Skull and Bones the week after, and then Star Wars the week after, and then Resident Evil 4 the week after. So there's no room for March. April's completely wide open except for Dead Island 2 at the very end of April.
Yeah.
May's got Redfall and now Zelda and Suicide Squad.
June's crazy.
And June's got Final Fantasy 16, but Street Fighter. So I was looking at the dates, and I'm like, if you're releasing in June and you're Starfield, there's a part of me that thinks it's going to release right around the showcase. That following, the showcase is on the 11th, and then they release it the 13th. Well, let me look at the calendar.
We were just joking around that Microsoft delayed their E3 showcase to the day of the Activision acquisition.
Yeah, they would release the game.
And
they would release the Game
Pass.
They would release the game on the 13th, essentially, June 13th, with 4-day early access on the 9th. So people who pay for the more expensive version of Starfield could play it 4 days early. So people would be playing it, and then Microsoft's June showcase would be out on the 11th. I don't know.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe it is April. Maybe my prediction will come true.
That's a good one.
You want to know my crazy out there prediction for Starfield?
I want to know.
It's getting shadow dropped at the January showcase.
Can you imagine? That'd be massive.
No marketing, just boom. Here it is, guys. Peace out.
Yeah, but that'd be huge. But you can't do that with a physical game, can you? It's physical. So you can do that with a digital-only game.
Yeah. It only takes one person opening the box to ruin it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
But Microsoft, you're right. Microsoft sort of did this to themselves. They came out at E3 and was like, everything's coming in next year. And we've seen Microsoft kind of already delay Halo a year. Redfall's been delayed almost a year. Starfield's delayed. So people aren't really confident in Xbox first party releasing their games. I mean, hell, even Dishonored or Deathloop was delayed a full year, and Ghostwire Tokyo was delayed. So, people are looking at it like, okay, well, you see, the problem is if you delay any of those games, if you delay Starfield, if you delay Minecraft Legends, it invalidates your whole claim from the previous E3, which means you can never do that again.
No.
Because why would anybody believe... Yeah, why would anybody believe you a second time when you broke it the first time? Yep. You know, not saying like if Arc 2 comes, or if Arc 2 gets delayed, whatever. Microsoft's not in control of Arc 2. That's third party.
That's right. That is what I was trying to say. That's why I thought Arc 2 would be the game they push for the second half of the year. I'm not saying it's a great game to push or anything. Why? We already got delayed last year.
I just don't see it.
Okay. I mean, so like the 2 weeks ago, I said, I asked Jazz how many games he thought from first party would launch, and he said 6. And I said, and I counted, and I said, I think there could be 10 games launching this year from first party. I think that's
more accurate.
You got the 2 Age games, Ghostwire Tokyo, Redfall, Forza, Starfield. That's 6. Minecraft Legends is 7. Aura History Untold is 8. And then Wandering.
Who makes that?
Our History Untold, that's an Xbox Global Publishing game, so I'm counting it.
Okay. So, yes.
It's still first party.
When you said 10, I'm like, that must include Global Publishing.
Yeah. And then Stoic's Wandering Tower, I think, could launch this year. Hi-Fi Rush, like Grubb said on your show ended last year, which I just did a video about, by the way. So,
did you?
Hi-Fi Rush, right? Supposed to come out this year, according to the rumors. And then Hellblade 2, potentially. So you're looking at, like, almost 10 games. Granted, I don't know how people will be like, well, the Age games don't count because they're ports.
Old.
And Ghostwire Tokyo is a year old or whatever.
Axe and Tree games don't count for anything. Tom 909. Axe and Tree games. I love that.
Know, I mean, there's the potential. You look at that and there is the potential to have that many. Plus, like Diablo 4. Does the ABK deal close before Diablo 4 comes out? And if
all
of
a sudden Call of Duty's a first party release this year.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It's like, here's the other thing. Like, if they close and Diablo 4 is yours and you're putting it day one in Game Pass, but Starfield's also coming out a week after, which one are you delaying? Because I feel like if you're first party and you delay Starfield, I think you delayed Diablo.
The thing is, like, why would you? In a world of subscriptions, why would you delay any of them? I know. You don't need to. That's the thing. Right?
That's why I said earlier, it's like a media thing. It's a media thing.
It's a media thing, and I think it's a. You think about TV shows, like the way we binge now, and I don't know what side of the camp you fall on, Rand. Whether it's you like all your shows, every episode available, and I watch them how I want to watch them.
You have never seen his arguments with Paris?
Yeah, you've never seen my Paris.
Rand binges.
Oh no, I haven't. Oh, yeah. Are you a binger, Rand?
I only the only time I do week to week if it's just like Wheel Time, which was something that was near and dear to me, even though it ended up sucking the TV show. But yeah, I will not watch. I will watch a show if it's a week to week. I watched Andor the last week when they were putting on their final episode. That's when I started binging Andor. I'm not watching stuff week to week. Yeah, sorry, I'm just.
Binge. If given the option, I'll binge.
Right, and that's the thing. So if we're living in a world of a subscription service, right, like there is. Arguably, if you like, so let's say Starfield releases at the beginning of April or whatever. When's Diablo meant to be releasing? April?
June 6th.
June 6th. So let's say Starfield releases end of June and Diablo, and they own it and they've closed the deal and it's on Game Pass on June 6th. And then Starfield releases the end of June. I don't think that's a big deal. I genuinely don't. Because people that love Diablo style games might not love Starfield type game.
But usually you don't want to release 2 huge games within a month because people could subscribe and play both. But I get what you're saying. It's not like
like end of the month, like, oh, I need to keep my subscription going to tick over. Like,
plus we didn't. I don't know if you guys mentioned the reason outside of like them saying Starfield's coming and then the help page being updated and saying it's coming first half, which would be quite embarrassing if they did that and then it was delayed a second time.
Just a smidge.
I think they really want Starfield out this fiscal year.
Yeah, they do.
Because their fiscal year closes at the end of June. And I really think they want these games coming because I really think they want to hit a lot of those Game Pass targets. Right? So...
It's a good point, Rand. That's a good point. Thinking about the big picture Rand.
The money, because Phil, like Satya gives Phil targets to hit for the year. Phil then goes down to his, people under him, like, okay, these are the targets we're trying to hit for everything else. And it sucks because it's like, all right, well, Starfield moved. And it's like, well, we can't hit a lot of our targets because that's the biggest game. And
now
so, like,
screwed.
I don't know. I feel like fiscal year does have a lot to do with some of it.
Yeah,
probably.
And that's not even counting other Game Pass exclusives. Like we're still Stalker 2, Atomic Heart,
Party Animals,
Last Case of Benedict Fox. It's nuts.
Honestly, I said it on my show. If everything hits, knock on wood, cross your fingers, because it's Xbox, and sometimes things don't go well in Xbox land. Things go unplanned. But if everything goes, like if they actually get out like 8 games, 10 games, like I mentioned, you include the third-party stuff, and then you look at the Game Pass games, this literally could be one of the best years in Xbox history.
Ever.
If you encapsulate everything from third-party, like the big third-party games, to the Game Pass deals that they've done, to first-party releases, very well could be.
And you pair that with an incredible E3 show?
I'd prefer to say, rather than the best year in Xbox history, the best year in Game Pass history.
Well, yeah, that's an easy one.
Well, yeah,
Game Pass coming full throttle in.
That's what I'm saying. Because, like, best... yeah, maybe it's because I don't have interest in a lot of the games coming. But I was about
Nick,
to say,
you don't have any interest in any of the games coming on Xbox. You're a Nintendo fan or a Sega fan.
Redfall is in my top 10 most anticipated. Redfall looks good. Redfall does look good. Starfield,
We're doing a top 10, Rand. I'm curious while you're here. What's your top 10 out of all the games that you know are coming, right? So not stuff you don't know.
Number 1, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
By far.
One.
Number 2, probably Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises, and my 2 favorite Resident Evils were 2 and 4 back in the day. So,
and their new engine is really pretty. So I bet it's gonna be
3. I mean, Dead Space. Dead Space is one of my favorite games from the 360 gen. 4, probably Redfall. 5, Starfield. I mean, I love every Arcane game they've ever. Like Dishonored 1 and 2, Prey, Deathloop, like I'm there day one. Day 0, So Redfall and Starfield. What else we got? Spider-Man 2 is up there. I did quite enjoy Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2018. Stalker 2 looks very interesting. I'm trying to think of some of the indie games. I mean, I would say Sifu, but I already played it this past year, which was incredible.
Benedict Fox, you got Replaced, you've got Cocoon from Playdead.
Replaced looks cool. Benedict Fox looks really cool. Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff, right? A lot. Suicide Squad, like Rocksteady coming back after 8 years, freaking years with the game.
Mad.
There's a lot this year.
You know what I don't...
stuff we know about.
Yeah. You know what I'm not interested in? Zelda. Couldn't care less.
Couldn't give 2 shits. Do you think Zelda will win the game of the year?
Oh, absolutely. Nobody even needs to release anything.
See? It's got nothing to do with how much I love Zelda. Zelda has won it. Like, it's not about me and my taste. Zelda has won Game of the Year.
And right now, there's no God of War hanging in the horizon, which could potentially, okay, right? Like, you're looking at the games this year, and it's like, dude, and like Zelda's got it. Depending how really good Starfield, I think Starfield's going to be nominated, depending on how good it is, right?
Yeah,
it'll be nominated.
And
as far as it'll get.
Yeah, but I mean, no, this year's Zelda. Like, it's just Elden Ring. It was Elden Ring. Like, nothing, so.
I thought God of War was going to win it.
Nah.
I thought God of War was going to win it.
Elden Ring. Nah. I think at the end, I think there are some people that are just a little bit tired of the Sony formula, even though they're quite good. And I think God of War Ragnarok fell a little bit to the formulaic a little bit. Like, it was bloated, and they should have stuffed some stuff, but
the menu UI got even worse.
Ugh.
The upgrade system got even more worthless.
Oh, but here we are, a bunch of Xbox talking down about a PlayStation game, Nick.
Not talking down. It's like It's how it is. It's just how it was.
Rand, I heard that you made a prediction that Scalebound's coming back in 2023.
I did not. Nothing.
I'm teasing. He didn't say that.
Man, what would you do, Rand? What would
see
you
if
do?
Idle Sloth posts it on Twitter?
You know, I'm actually.
What would you do if they decided, you know what, bugger?
You know, I'm not
Let's
against
bring back Scalebound.
I'm not against the idea of Microsoft working with Platinum. I think Platinum's, or they used to be.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. I'm talking specifically Scalebound.
I think it would be a mistake. I think there's too much baggage attached to that name.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Make something new.
Here's a better question. Out of all the games that have been announced from Microsoft, so not talking stuff that hasn't been announced, what games do you expect to see real gameplay of at E3, whatever the showcase is this year? The big one.
From Xbox or just
from
in general?
Xbox? From Xbox specifically.
I mean, I don't know, because I don't know what Xbox is going to do at E3. Are they going to stick to 12 months again?
Let's say they're not going to do that. They're just going to go hell for leather, right?
Well, it depends. Is Starfield out by then? Because if it's not, it'll be Starfield.
Yeah, if Starfield's out by then, what are they going to show gameplay of announced games? So you got Perfect Dark, you got Fable, you've got Everwild,
No. It'll be like I guess it depends on what's next to come. Whatever's coming at the end of the year. If Hellblade is coming, then it'd be Hellblade. If Avowed's coming early next year, which I assume it is, it'd be Avowed.
State of Decay 3?
No, I think State of Decay 3 furthers off. Maybe Perfect Dark.
No.
You don't
know. Crystal
think,
Dynamics development's going very well.
You know? Compulsion's game, although that's probably a CGI trailer for first announcement.
Probably.
I mean, it depends. You know, is ID's going to reveal their game this year? If so, that's probably a CGI announcement.
Are we going to see Indiana Jones?
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Is that game coming out next year? I don't know. That's the question. It's just not sure when stuff is coming out. So it's
I was saying earlier, I wonder if Compulsion are going to do that thing. Like in my gut, I think like Compulsion's game in particular is going to be like one of those smaller, super focused experiences, like a Pentiment, rather than this big AAA behemoth. You know, and if that is the case, would they take a card out of Bethesda's playbook and do hey, here's Project Midnight or whatever it's going to be called, and it's out in September. Boom. Like, why not? Like, they've been working on it a very long time now. And if it's a smaller in scope game, I don't think that's outside of the realms of possible. But intriguing. We've got such a good first 6 months. It's going to be nuts. Everything's going to be crazy.
Okay,
you say that, did you knock on the table? Because what if everything gets delayed?
All right,
yeah.
What about Halo, John?
What about Halo, my friend?
Yeah, what about Halo? Halo making a return this year, or is there 2024 more in line with maybe things being good for Halo?
I don't think we'll see Tatanka this year. We might see it, but I don't think we'll see it as in we'll be playing it this year. But yeah, there you go.
Now, Rand, in the interest of me being in a hurry, Rand, have you ever had any interest in being a quizmaster?
I've never been a quizmaster.
Okay,
Wow.
Well, you're about to get a crash course in being a quizmaster because
in quizzing.
It's time for Name a Game. Now, John, did you jump into Buzz-In Live?
I'm logging in now, man. I'm logging in now.
Okay, we have buzzers now. They're not going to make any noise, but we now have buzzers so that we don't have the lag problem of, who said whose name first? We now have buzzers that Jeff Grubb introduced me to
noise
on Jeopardy, and it was great. It works
Okay, so
super well.
How am I going to know which one of you buzzes in first?
Oh, shit, yeah. How is he going to know? Jesse will say it. Jesse will say it.
That's okay. Jesse will know. Jesse will know.
And he'll say Nick, and then I'll answer. So, have you ever watched Name a Game, Rand?
I've seen snippets of it.
Yeah. So we take the name of a game and basically change it via thesaurus, via whatever, and then John and I have to guess what that game is. We're now in 2023, so now John and I are playing for a code for a patron each.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
guys
right?
haven't freaking set that yet. I kept trying to get you to set it. People can hear me now, by the way. I kept trying to get you to set that, Nick, but you wouldn't do it.
All right, I'll pick my
wouldn't
patron.
do it? I never refuse. I've been very busy.
Always
For once.
excuses. See, Rand? See what I
For
get
once,
all the
I've
time?
actually been quite busy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going
what we're having to deal with,
run
Rand.
the intro for Name a Game right now.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Oh, wait, should I gotta go to Stinger so that I don't move there? Because then it looks like shit. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, it's Name a Game. Let's
okay.
do it.
Yeah, I think Jesse will have to send the
I didn't already.
game
I'm
titles
on it.
to Rand. Oh, okay.
I got it.
So
I got
Rand,
everything. Yeah.
So Rand, what is our topic? Like, what's the
So,
topic?
so I just read out the subject,
Yes,
Jesse, but
yep.
not
Yeah.
the stuff in parentheses, or just the subject.
For this, the parentheses, yes, but for the games, no.
Okay, so the subject,
Yeah.
games about the supernatural, and then in parentheses it says vampires, ghosts, etc.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I can't see the chat because now that we have Buzz In Live, that's a dedicated website that I have to click over to. Like, if I show you now, you'll see my light change. So it's like, that's YouTube. There's Buzz In Live. So I'm on Buzz In Live. I can't see the chat. So John,
I
look at the chat.
also can't see the chat, my friend. It's not on
And
my
you can
screen.
buzz with the space bar too. You don't have to click on it with your mouse.
Oh, okay.
You can
good
buzz
to
with
know.
the space bar. Okay.
You know,
Ready.
if you
First one,
want,
are we ready?
I can make it so people can see the buzzer. If you give me a second. I just don't have it set up on this. I'll get it real quick.
Okay.
Window capture.
okay.
Buzz In Live. Podcast gonna shit for a second. Boop. Okay. Well, It
Okay.
always grabs the wrong thing, of course. Bam. Buzz in.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
Look at that.
what's he doing?
Resizing it. Make it a little bigger.
Okay.
Here, sorry, controller. You can get covered for a second. All right. There we go.
Yeah. So now
Question
everyone can
number
see
one.
buzzers.
Oh, okay.
Go. Rand.
Question number 1. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Crimson Crash.
With that.
I buzzed.
Yeah.
I buzzed.
Yeah, I was
me?
first. I was first.
Oh.
No, I was
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
First.
It
Okay.
says Redfall.
You are the winner. Yes, congrats.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they got that one. So that's
Yeah.
a point for Nick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a point for Nick.
Damn, how am I going to throw this so John wins?
Come on,
Piss
Rand,
off.
Help me out. Help me out, bro.
All right, second one is Authority.
That's it. Just authority.
That's it, just Authority.
Authority.
Authority. Remember, if you buzz, it locks you.
Yeah,
I
buzz,
know.
you can be locked out.
Am I allowed to give hints?
Sort of. What
I
happened,
buzzed.
Jesse?
I buzzed.
Yeah, I can see he's buzzed.
Control.
There you go. You got it. 1-1.
Okay. Yeah, control. Okay.
All right.
Back in the game. Back in the game.
Earliest experience thwack scan.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry, what?
Earliest
Earliest?
experience thwack scan. So THWACK.
Thwacks.
Thwack.
Thwack. As in the noise. As
I
in
guess.
as in a comic booky type noise. Thwack.
Yeah,
scan,
thwack.
You wanker.
Earliest
What the-
experience. Earliest experience. What the hell?
This is a good one, Jesse.
Earliest experience. And you know that this thing has a timer too. It has a built-in timer. This Buzz In Live too.
Earliest
Yeah, I thought about
earliest
it.
experience. Thwack.
Earliest experience. Thwack scan.
Thwack. This is
gonna
brutal.
start
This
at
is
that
the
10
hardest
second
one
timer
you've
soon.
ever done. This is cruel.
Timer starts.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell earliest experience is.
I'm not sure that. Well, what kind of hint could I give you guys? Obviously, I can't tell you the developer, right?
No,
I don't remember the developer. Okay,
Earliest-
can I tell you the genre?
Sure.
I don't know, Jesse, can you? Okay.
Did you say yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a first-person shooter.
Shooter.
Yeah.
This game did appear on the Xbox 360 as well as
And
PC.
sure did. And I believe it has 3 sequels?
It has 2 sequels. Here, I'll turn my
2 sequels. Well, so there's 3 games, but 2 sequels to the first game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Earliest
All
experience.
right. I'm starting the timer for real this time.
Yeah, I can see it now. It's counting down.
Yep.
I've got no
You've got
idea.
5 seconds.
Oh, fuck.
You got a buzz. You got a buzz, mate. You got a buzz.
Okay, I can't remember the acronym. Oh,
You can
this
just
is
say the
horrible.
name. You don't have to say every word in the name.
You don't
Okay,
have to
well,
say the acronym.
I think it's fear based on first and earliest because I remember it's first assault something.
Yep. There you go.
something.
You got it. It's Sphere.
Hang on, I want to get it. First assault encounter
Nope.
recon.
First encounter
Well-
assault recon.
First
Oh, okay.
encounter.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm
F-E-A-R.
spelling fear wrong, like a moron.
So we've done this one before, so that's why I had to give
We
it
have,
a
but that's
weird
what I
thing.
was thinking, like
before.
earliest, first, and then it just hit me. It's like fear, yeah.
All right. We have
Brutal.
Italian man's massive domicile.
Luigi's Mansion, Haunted Mansion. Well, I can't remember the name of the game, but it's
I
that.
just put
Luigi's Haunted Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, fucking smash.
So we got what Nick has.
John has
John
one.
has
2-1?
what? 3 now?
Yeah, John wins.
Oh, John wins.
Yeah.
Set off 2023. Right.
John
wins.
We still go through the rest of them just because they're really stupid.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
fun.
just for fun. So carry on.
So the next one's Coatings of Terror.
Codings of Terror. Oh, my buzzer's not reset. What do I do? What
As
do
in,
I do?
as in coatings, C-O-A-T.
Yeah, Coatings.
Terror.
Layers of Fear.
Yeah, layers.
There you go.
I
Man,
did
you're
buzz.
killing it. Yeah. Being is weird. Faithful Hughes.
Wait, what? Is that all of it? Being is weird.
Being is weird, Faithful Hughes.
That was
Life
Nick.
is Strange, Two
Nick.
Colors.
Nick.
True colours. Hey,
Oh,
I
he
buzzed
buzzed
in.
okay.
Have a look
I
at
didn't
your
hear-
buzzer page,
You know,
mate.
if he had gotten it
I
right, I
saw
would have
it.
just given that to you, Nick, even in the future. So you want to scream out the correct answer, but you're actually not the first person to buzz in. That's on you.
But I didn't do that. I buzzed
No,
in.
no, I'm talking about John. If he wants to ever do something like that, like, hey, you want to give
No,
Nick the
whatever.
answer, feel free.
That's true.
Then Nick gets the points.
We have Spectre String, Nippon City.
That'd be Nick.
Ghost Wire Tokyo.
Yeah.
So I get them all now.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
mate, it happened
finally-
to me last year.
Finally, Deadly Box, Spinster of Stygian Reservoir.
Stygian.
Or Stygian Reservoir. I don't know.
Stygian Reservoir.
Stygian.
One word on
There
the
you go.
last.
What? Spectre Box, did you say?
Deadly Box.
Deadly Box, Spinster
Oh.
of
Stygian.
Stygian Reservoir.
Stygian Reservoir,
Deadly.
one word.
Deadly Box. What? Deadly Box.
John already won Mafioso, so it's stuck at 3-1 because John won. These are just for fun.
Yeah. Deadly
Deadly
Box.
Box.
I was pretty happy with this one.
The hell is Deadly Box? Oh wait. No, that's not right. It can't be.
I
right.
think I've got the first bit, but I don't know the.
It's
I
a
don't know.
game that
What
has
is it?
been announced as coming to Xbox. A remake. All right, just tell her, and they're not going
hell?
to get it, and they're too dumb.
It's,
Yeah, I'm not gonna get it.
Fatal Frame made into Blackwater.
Yeah,
God! Yeah,
I got the
never
Fatal
gonna
Frame.
get that.
I was like, Fatal Deadly box, but I did not know Spinster of Stygian Reservoir. What? Spinster is a maiden, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
And Stygian Reservoir would be Blackwater.
Yeah.
I love the buzzer.
Yeah.
The buzzer's so
Nice.
good.
Yeah, the buzzer's good shout. I like it.
It's great. Thanks,
There's no
Grub.
argument.
Give me a sec.
Thanks,
I gotta
Steph.
jump us back to our
Thanks,
Okay.
Rand, for being
regular
our
audio. There we are.
quiz host.
Alrighty. Now,
Yeah.
is Rand going to hang around for the community questions? There's not many. There's only like
only a
There's
few.
only 5.
a handful.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
there's
hang
not many.
around.
Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
cool.
We're all friends here.
Alrighty.
It's very
So,
chill, relaxed
John,
experience.
Would
Wait,
you
but
like
before we do that,
John,
my friend.
Yes. Would you like to say thank you to our patrons?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsor, Control, for providing a delightfully balanced meal replacement.
Very
milkshake that's
tasty meal
delicious.
replacement drink, mate.
Just in case you weren't going to mention it, I just thought I would.
Rand, get yourself some Control, mate. I'm telling you, you will.
I'm currently dieting. I've lost like 60 pounds so far.
Good for you.
all the
Rand.
more reason to get Control. It's a meal replacement shake. That's literally
It's
what it
catered
is.
for real life.
Catered to real life. CTRL.
I can
Control.
see that in your video there, Nick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This stuff
But
tastes
yeah.
amazing. Even Jesse loves it.
Even Jesse, the man
Even
with no
Jesse.
taste buds, apparently.
Yeah.
He was born with the taste buds missing from his tongue. It's just a big
No, I
piece
just
of
never
leather.
trust Nick to actually have any good opinions. And for once, he was correct. So I've got to say, yes, Nick. every
broken
flavor
clock
we
is right
tried,
twice a day. As
It
they
was
say.
so good.
Control.
I bought my wife a pink shaker and some drinks, and she loves it. Yes, it's actually very good.
Oh,
You can go to
it tastes
Drink
so good.
Control, CTRL.com, drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra, which will use our code XboxEra. You get 10% off.
10% off.
Lovely.
They've got new flavors coming in the US, which I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, the US gets all the flavors. Australia's only got like 5 or 6
we're the
flavors.
best.
The US has like 75 flavors. It's like there's so
Debatable,
much.
man.
It's,
That's debatable.
there's so many crazy flavors, but they all taste incredible. It's so
But
good.
hey, big shout out to the 350 plus people watching the podcast
Yes.
today. Love you guys. Thanks for coming and hang out with us. And big thank you to Rand for just being called out in the chat and not wanting
The balls
to not
jump
rise
on
to the
when getting
challenge
Called out.
Yep.
and just jumping in. We'll have to do that more often. man.
Big
It's
shout
good
out for
laugh.
Nick doing 1 million podcasts this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The man with a million podcast appearances.
Yeah.
4 in 2
Mostly-
days.
Mostly a big shout out to our wonderful patrons who support and fund everything that XboxEra does. We might look like a big, huge media outlet with a massive budget, but we're not. We're actually supported completely by you guys watching us. So if you want to join that prestigious crew, you can do so by joining our Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool merch, you get ad-free browsing experience in the forums, you get exclusive access to the Patreon lounge where you get to bug us every week with a community question, which we love.
Yeah.
We definitely love, thousands of them. You can also support us by becoming a YouTube member if that's your jam, and there's all emojis and things like that. Do what you can, because the more support we get, the more stuff we can do.
And we're
the bigger we can
working on
appear.
exclusive content for you. We're working on podcasts
Yeah.
every month for you guys.
Yeah, we're doing,
More
and I think I'll put a thread up in the Patreon forum actually, and see if we can get some cool names being spitballed for the movie podcast. And we're doing a Game Pass podcast with a rotating crew from the XboxEra team. We'll talk about a couple of Game Pass releases every month. That will be exclusive to Patreons at first. The movie one will be completely exclusive because that's just going to be me and Nick talking shit about films
About
for
movies.
an hour. Because we
And
do
we've
that
got
a
to
lot
figure
already.
out 2 patrons that are going to get a code for today. For naming it.
I would like to play for. I would have liked to have played for Anorexic because he has been super generous
Yes.
in supplying lots of codes for his game to our patrons.
Which
So let's
reminds
return
me,
the favour.
He needs to supply me with some more because the ones he gave me are expired.
There you go. Anorexic,
I
if
went
you're
to
watching-
send one to someone and they were like, oh, tried the code, it didn't work. I was like, okay, I'll speak to Anorexic.
Yeah, you
about
gotta
that.
forward him to me, and I'll get him the list of like 70 codes I have, and
Yeah,
he
you
can
can
choose
pick.
one.
There you go.
Pick a game.
Drop Jesse a DM. You've won a game, Anorexic. Thanks for all your support. Anyway, it's
Okay.
community questions.
Before
so
my
let's
wife,
ask some.
before my wife finishes the job that Manscaped started, because I didn't use the guard. Let's go to community questions now. First question from Topp. Hello, Nick, Jesse, and the most special of guests, John. And we'll add Rand in there too.
Yeah, Rand.
This week's question is for Nick. How are you finding the Moka pot? P.S. The UK
Nick.
aren't in BST anymore. It should be GMT. Why does that keep changing?
That's daylight saving. So when we go an hour,
it's still British time. So why is it just BST?
BST is British summertime. GMT is Greenwich Mean Time. Yeah, difference. It's not summer over here, man.
Well,
but yeah,
the
Nick,
Moka pot.
how's the Moka pot, bro? That I went out of my way for Christmas to buy you as a gift from one friend from across the seas.
I've been very busy this first week of January.
You're not drunk any coffee this week, huh?
And I have not. No, I've been out places.
I see.
I've been out places and just buying coffee.
Fine.
I will make a coffee before I leave for Sydney. Next week. I'm doing the podcast from Sydney next week, by the way, so my background's going to look very different. I'll be in a hotel. So, yes, I'll make a mocha pot coffee before next week. I will, I promise.
Okay.
A speedo model. Happy New Year, y'all. Hopefully ABK closes early this year. Yeah, keep dreaming. So we can talk about actual games again. It has to happen eventually, right? My question. What's a game that you started a long time ago, haven't finished, but fully intend to return to? Oh my God, this list is so long. Any backlog game that stares at you from your library every time you pass it. When you see it mentioned, you say to yourself, I will go back and finish that. For me, Alien Isolation. I'm about halfway through. First achievement unlocked July 2015. Last achievement unlocked May 2019. I will finish it this year. Peace, guys. Wishing you a happy, healthy year. Thank you, Speedo Model. You too. God, I have so many games that could be on this list.
It's an easy answer for me. Cyberpunk 2077. I will finish that campaign. I've got a real good chunk of the way through. I will finish it.
It's an easy answer for me too. I always finish the games I play, so I don't have any that I don't have any that I'm halfway through that I haven't finished. It's like I play the game and I beat the game, and then I move on.
Do you have anything in the backlog?
I got games in the backlog that I haven't really played, like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is something I really want to get to, stuff like that. But I don't have a game where I'm like halfway through and I'm like, it's been 6 years, you know?
I do.
Me. I do.
My oldest game that I started, never went back to, but do intend to one day maybe go back to is Grand Theft Auto 4. So I started that in 2008.
Wow.
Dabbled back in a little bit in 2010. Dabbled back in again a little bit like in 2015 or something. I will eventually get there now that it's 60, even though it still feels like crap. More recent games, I'm like you, Rand, Guardians of the Galaxy, Trek to Yomi. Trek to Yomi? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yomi, okay. There's a whole bunch. I just started Alan Wake Remastered, so I've got to finish that. It's a whole heap. I start them and I don't finish them.
Yeah.
It's annoying. High on Life is the first game I've gotten into and finished it.
It was a good length. It was perfect length.
It was. It was good.
Did you play High on Life, Rand?
Yeah, it was the last game I played.
Yeah, it's great.
Loved it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Thought it was great.
Great.
Didn't overstay its welcome.
Yep.
It was really funny.
Very funny.
You know, the game got better as it went when you unlocked all the different guns and all the different traversal stuff. Like, honestly, when you think about it, like, the beginning of the game is probably the lowest point of the game because you just got the one gun. You don't have any of the traversal mechanics.
Yeah.
It overly tries to be funny.
Yeah.
Which I love Rick and Morty, so it's like, I was like, all right, this is cool. But gameplay-wise, I thought it got a lot better as it went.
Yeah.
We got a little super chat from Synodex.
What happened to Uplay Plus over a year now? Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
I said this the other day.
Playing your cloud games, your purchase games over xCloud. What happened to that? That was meant to be last year.
Yeah, well, they said that was their intent to do it this year, and clearly didn't get done. Ubisoft Plus? Maybe Sony stole it from them. Because Microsoft announced it January of last year, Ubisoft Plus was coming this year, or last year.
Never
and
happened.
Then right before Sony announced like the new tiers, They're like, Ubisoft Plus is coming. And, Sony loves their exclusivity stuff. I wonder if somehow they came in, swooped in, and just stole it from them.
Yeah, but if a deal is signed, a deal is signed. But then, I don't know.
I mean we can go to...
I was going to say, look at Sekiro. Sekiro was meant to have come to something by now, and it never did. I got told that deal was signed, and it never happened.
Well,
people still bug me on Twitter.
They ended up buying the publisher. So, but yeah, there you go. Okay, cool.
It's a weird one. See, my wife brought me an iced latte.
She didn't use the mocha pot though.
She wasn't going to bother using the mocha pot.
Come on, Mrs. Special Nick.
Okay. Hytham G.
Here we go.
Happy New Year, gents. So the question I like to ask is this. For gaming that relates to Xbox and gaming in general, is this...
I know... Wait, before we continue, Hytham, community question 1, singular. I see three questions here, my man. 1.
Okay, let's try burn through these as they're there.
Okay.
For Halo Infinite, do you guys think we will see DLC expansion for the game and maybe stuff to return, like the cut? Returning in new weapons, vehicles, enemies, and the most important things of them all, the playable elites and dual-wielding weapon mechanic. No to all of it. I don't think we'll see any of those things.
Yeah.
This year.
We will see new weapons
this
in
year.
multiplayer, yes. That's what he confirmed.
Okay, they've already talked about the Bandit.
We'll see new equipment in multiplayer this year. I don't know about vehicles. Enemies, no. If you're asking for DLC from the campaign, no. Do I think playable elites will ever be a thing? No. Do I think dual wielding will ever be a thing? No. I don't know. I just don't think so.
I think the fastest you'll get any DLC will be if they get campaign enemies into Forge and people start making PvE content in there.
Yeah.
Which they have talked about. But they've got the Shroud and they've got the Bandit already announced as coming in March.
Okay. I didn't realize. That shows how much I've been paying attention to Halo.
Yeah, they have an actual live team now. Things actually get done.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Slowly but surely, it's getting there. It's getting there.
Okay, number 2. Oh, God. Do you gents think we will see Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox this year, depending on its timed exclusivity or not? And same with Ghostwire Tokyo. And maybe this year, if it gets delayed, the Xbox and Nintendo partnership. I know. And maybe the Project Overdose to be revealed this year. Final Fantasy VII Remake's not happening.
No.
It's just not... I've been saying it for 2 years. I've been saying it. Just let it go. It's not going to happen. Or it's highly unlikely. That's what it's funny. I was having a discussion with the source that originally told me that 3 years ago, the Final Fantasy VII ain't coming. And they said to me, see, because you said this so long ago, everyone's forgotten that you said it. I'm like, well, what do you want me to say to you? That's what happens. I say stuff ages before it happens.
Aren't you the one in a rush, Nick? Come on, let's go. There's 17 more questions in this.
Yeah. So yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake, the chances are almost 0.
Yeah.
Just
Ghostwire
Tokyo.
0. Ghostwire Tokyo in March. That's happening. Xbox and Nintendo
the Xbox
partnership?
and Nintendo partnership. I don't know. I actually asked about that about a month ago. And they were like, it's still a thing, just not sure what the holdup is, what's going on with that. Nintendo's a very tricky company to deal with. Okay, number 3. Maybe and depending on Genshin Impact, if it makes its way to Xbox ecosystem, or something like that, if game gets announced at the TGS event this year, probably goes for Final Fantasy VII Remake too, along with the missing Japanese games that didn't touch Xbox yet, and maybe the Project Overdose. But your guys' take on these 3 questions altogether? None of those. No Final Fantasy VII, no Genshin.
Genshin never even made it to Switch, which was announced for.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Do you think that they'll get, because there's talk of other Japanese series coming to Game Pass, similar way to Yakuza did?
Yeah, we talked about Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, and Persona's already on its way this month, right? So, yeah.
You know the full name of Persona 3 is Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3.
Yeah, it's part of the same series.
Wow.
It's a spin-off.
It spun off and became bigger, basically.
They just reuse all the demon. They reuse all like the enemy models and all that stuff between them. That and soul hackers and everything. They're pretty lazy.
Yeah. But remember, Shin Megami Tensei won't count because I said it so long before.
And by the way,
happened,
there's one more question here.
Yeah, I know. He says, P.S. If you gents invite Sarah Bond to your show for discussion, I would not only like to endorse how she handles the ecosystem of Xbox, I would also ask her about the Genshin Impact, if there's any other way for the game to come to Xbox ecosystem. But so what do gents think of that idea? I'd love to get Sarah on. We should try.
That'd be cool.
I should try. Cool. I'll try and see if we can get Sarah on.
Yeah.
It'd be easier if she followed me on Twitter, but she does not.
Last two.
Yes.
Still awake, Rand? Old Collingwood. With us?
Yeah, Rand's still with us?
I'm here.
Okay. Good old Collingwood, who I discovered today is actually a name of... Good old Collingwood is a different name for this person. When I saw their other name, I was like, oh my God, is that where that person went? Do you remember? I think I can't remember if they were a patron or if they just used to ask a community question before we put it behind a Patreon. Do you remember the name Widya Santoso?
Yes.
Good old Collingwood.
Oh, I did not know that. There you go.
Yeah.
Now I
hope he doesn't mind me. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that.
Wow, boxed him real bad, Nick. What the hell?
No, I don't think that's his real name. I thought that was an online name. But anyway. Happy Orthodox Christmas, John, Nick, and Jesse. My question is actually more for Jesse, as Nick doesn't like traveling. Yeah. And it might be a bit far for John. E3 is 6 months from now. Yeah?
I'd go.
E3 is 6 months from now. Has there been any ideas for Xbox Era staff to attend, even perhaps have an Xbox Era meetup event? While it seems early, there are a lot of people wanting to return to events such as E3 and making plans now, such as booking hotels and or Airbnbs. Wait too long, there'll only be the Cecil Hotel left with rooms. Is that a bad hotel?
It's the most haunted hotel in Los Angeles.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, it says that at the end here. So is it feasible for Xbox Era at E3? The Cecil Hotel is reputedly, shouldn't it be reportedly? I don't know. The most haunted hotel in Los Angeles. I did not know that.
We talked about this. We'd love to do it. And Rand, you've been to plenty of E3s before, right? I think you broke a record or something on the E3.
Yeah, I've been to one.
Would you go this year if there was a live show?
Potentially.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to be able to meet a lot of the team in one place at an event. Would be really, really cool. But we'd need 1 million more patrons to make that happen. So if 1 million patrons join and all patron for $1 will be there. No worries.
Yeah.
We'll hold an event. We'll host an event at the Cecil Hotel.
1 million $1 patrons would be great.
That's all we need, people. I'll accept 500,000 $2 patrons.
Yeah.
And so on and so on.
Yes.
But yeah, if we get the opportunity to go, we'll go for sure. We'll see. Someone will.
I won't, but yeah.
You wouldn't come if we could get the opportunity to get everyone together.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
If we had 1 million patrons paying for it.
If Xbox Era could pay for me to fly to the US for sure I'll go. Catch up with MVG in Vegas. Not a problem.
Yeah, be wicked, wouldn't it?
See Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, go
see Rand. Go to Chicago, catch up with Rand.
Yeah.
Come to Chicago. We'll have a few laughs.
Nick, I don't know if you noticed, but the point of E3 is that everyone's at the same place, and you don't have to go all over the country to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's called the trade show.
That's true.
We're in.
But my dad has been to Chicago, and he says that's the closest you're going to get to Melbourne in the US. He goes, that's the closest you're going to get is Chicago.
In terms of what?
I don't know. Well, he's someone who's from Melbourne. So if he says to me Chicago is the closest thing to Melbourne in the US, then I'll believe him. I don't know what he means that in terms of. I guess in terms of just what the city's like, restaurants, cafes. I don't know. He said it's the closest thing to Melbourne in the US. That's all I know. So I'd like to check out Chicago. And I also go for the Chicago Bulls.
Yes.
So that's the other reason. That's the other reason I
knew there was a reason why I liked you.
I grew up, loving Michael Jordan.
Nick's a front runner. What a shock.
Yeah. I go for the Dallas
I
Cowboys
like
as well. I go for the Cowboys too.
Oh, never mind. He loves teams that lose all the time as well.
I'm loving DeoGame's question here. It's putting a bit of a cat among the pigeons for the old Zelda will win game of the year here from DeoGame.
Okay. Last question. DeoGame. Happy New Year. Quick question from me. There has been talk about Microsoft buying Netflix. Do you think this is a good buy or a bad one? I think it'd be good, but only once the regulatory environment shifts away from the big tech fear. Well, that's not going to happen. Your thoughts? P.S. The last 2 times a mainline 3D Zelda was beat for Game of the Year was by a Bethesda Game Studios game title. Just some food for thought. Interesting.
Yeah, but this time Bethesda's owned by Xbox, though. So.
Xbox tax coming in.
Right. Xbox tax is coming in hot.
They couldn't play it on their PlayStations.
Redfall's you got to knock 10 points off Redfall. Redfall's going to be a 75.
72 meta.
75 would have been an 85 if it was multi-plat.
Yeah,
but
it's brutal.
It's going to be a 75 now.
Imagine how all those media folks are going to feel like, I've got to play it on Xbox.
Yeah,
I can't play it on PC.
Now, Netflix.
This actually came from a tech predictions article.
Yes.
Right. And I read the article and I'm like, do you know how much Netflix costs?
It costs a lot of money. Be more than ABK.
It's like, I think their market cap is something like 120 billion. Right. Now, Microsoft has
more than ABK.
A lot on hand, but you got to take off 70 bill off of what they do have on hand. So no,
40.43 billion.
Yeah, there's no way. No way.
Yeah, but you're assuming they don't just use cash on hand to buy these companies.
They might not, but I just don't see it happening.
They could take out a loan. They could use stock.
Yeah. No, they won't buy Netflix. And I don't know if Netflix would be good in so much as if they blend Game Pass with Netflix. So, hey, guess what? We've got 200 million Game Pass subscribers. Just like that. From that perspective, Netflix would be good. But think of all what they take on. So Netflix is a movie streaming service, right?
Yeah.
And TV show. That is so much money to keep up content for.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Games are games. Games are going to be made whether Game Pass exists or not. Yes, there's more incentive to make more games when you have Game Pass, but in the end, those games are still there. Netflix and all these movie companies now that are getting into streaming services, they have to pump out content so much more than a video game developer would, because movies only go for about 2 hours and TV shows only go for half an hour. So to keep that subscription running, you need so much, billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of content that Microsoft doesn't need that much. Starfield's going to be a 200-hour game. That's one game. It's just not. That's why I still think the subscription model actually suits games better than it does movies and TV shows, because it doesn't require the same level of constant content that a movie subscription does. But yeah, there's a plus and a minus to both, I guess. What do you think, Rand?
I don't know. Ever since people started talking about this, I just kind of, I think it's way too expensive. Yes. I don't know. I don't really see Microsoft there hasn't been any signal from Microsoft that they want to get into the media content creation game, right? They tried with Mixer in a way and failed horribly. And I understand, but people look at it they would get Netflix for gaming or Xbox or combine that with Game Pass or whatever. Would they really be? I don't necessarily know about that.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't they?
I don't know, because Netflix is way bigger than Game Pass ever could be, I think. Yeah. Right? So it's
less niche. It's less niche.
What are you getting it for? Are you getting it for as a delivery system for Game Pass?
Yeah.
Where it's like
why wouldn't you? Like, you've got xCloud. Why wouldn't you just build that into your future Netflix / Game Pass subscription?
Isn't
like, guess
Netflix
what?
built
As
on
well as-
AWS?
and there is that like
they
talk
wouldn't
that
shift
would
that
be
over?
there would be like it would be
It's a lot
a
of money.
big win for Microsoft to get Netflix on Azure and off of AWS. And Microsoft does is their advertiser partner for the Netflix ad tier right now, which is why people are believing that Game Pass rumor about ad tier because I don't know.
I love that it's all
know.
stemmed from someone's random prediction article.
It's a random prediction.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I just couldn't.
go.
I just couldn't see. One, the FTC would block it immediately. They won't even look at it. It's just blocked.
If we think Activision's having trouble,
So it's like
we want to
let
buy Netflix.
let alone like the rest of the world, because like right now, like Netflix does offer games, right?
Correct.
So like maybe the regulators could offer a thing being like you're buying them because you don't want a competitor to your mobile, your gaming platform. So you're trying to, so it's like, I don't know. I can see the positives, but I also would see like the negatives, and it's just like you just need to clear ABK. You need to go and secure some of these other studios, like Certain Affinity,
Capcom and Sega,
before they slip away, before somebody else gets them. Like someone else just got Skybox Labs or whatever.
Crystal, Eidos.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think they can just make deals with Embracer to keep Crystal doing Perfect Dark without needing to own that studio.
It's funny you say that. A little birdie may have told me that they've probably done quite a few deals with Embracer Studios.
Well, Xbox or just other
Xbox.
Well, I mean, they did say publicly that they have entered into agreements with other companies, long term. One of them, Amazon and Tomb Raider, right? Yep. And I think Jason Schreier said Eidos is working on Fable and other things. So that was the thing. Yep. When they bought Crystal Dynamics and Eidos, I thought to myself, can they afford to run them? Those are expensive studios, and their games haven't sold well. And I think Embracer, they might have realized they bit off more than they can chew.
More than they can chew.
So they're probably perfectly okay with Microsoft paying for the projects, so they don't have to fund anything, because Amazon's going to fund the Tomb Raider game, right?
Yeah.
So Embracer doesn't have to. But I would like Crystal Dynamics under Xbox. I would like Eidos,
I still think it could happen. I'm fully buying into that conspiracy theory.
But let's be honest, right? If Microsoft hadn't or hadn't encountered so much delay and uproar about the Activision deal, if that had already been enclosed and the opportunity had been there for Eidos and all of those guys, they would have jumped at that, right? They would have. They would have.
I think they would have.
They couldn't.
I don't know.
They couldn't because of Activision.
You would also think Sony would have wanted them, but it didn't really seem like anybody else other than Embracer wanted them.
Maybe.
I don't know. Microsoft, they were already working on Perfect Dark before they went up for sale, right? Like Microsoft surely would have looked at me like, yeah, we should probably buy those guys. They are working on one of our games. And then boom, they can just become the initiative.
I would have assumed there was something built into the agreement for Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
When that started, I would have assumed.
Get a
I don't know. I'm buying into the
get
conspiracy theory that Embracer's going to just flip them.
Get Certain Affinity. Get a lot of these studios before somebody else gets them, because you never know.
Yep.
Don't need to get Sega. You can get Capcom.
Yes. No, you get Sega as well. You have to get Sega.
Do you think that they're going to encounter challenges? So let's say we fast forward 8 months. Activision's done. It's closed. They own them. And then they want to go out and buy just random studio 1, 2, and 3.
No.
Not
do you think
studios.
No?
No.
No trouble from studios. They'll get trouble maybe from another. Like if they go to get Capcom,
a publisher again,
then we may, because
I don't
think
even
about
think
how much.
No, I don't even think there'd be a problem getting Capcom.
Oh,
So I mean, because what arguments would Sony make to say that the reason this one is kind of the way it is because Call of Duty is such a driver of revenue on the PlayStation side.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you mean to tell me that Resident Evil does that for PlayStation or Street Fighter? Like, the arguments that Sony made don't apply to any other franchise from any other publisher outside of maybe 2K and Grand Theft Auto.
Those arguments don't know.
So,
like, if you think about what they did with Street Fighter 5, right, where they locked exclusivity to PlayStation, they closed fighting games on the Xbox platform for an entire generation with that one move.
Yes.
And if Xbox were to do that to PlayStation, guess what? You could only ever play Street Fighter on this console. Well, guess what would happen? The entire fighting genre would...
they may not buy another publisher just because like they already have so many, and it's like at that point it's
expensive.
It's way too expensive, and it's like we need to make sure we can run the ones that we currently run. But I don't think they would run into if they tried to buy EA, they'd probably run into problems.
Yes.
If they wanted to buy Take-Two, they'd run into problems. But if you're buying like a Capcom or a Sega or something, I don't think so, because what are the arguments going to be? Oh my god, they're taking Sonic away from us. That doesn't make really any money anyways. Sony wouldn't, it just...
I wonder if Sony would sort of look at the Japan angle. Oh, well, they're this American company now, and now they're trying to dominate in Japan as well.
How would that argument go over in Japan, where Xbox doesn't even exist, basically?
No, I know. I'm not saying it's a good argument, but Sony's made a lot of dumb arguments already, so I don't think...
Yeah, but at least like, you could understand the Call of Duty angle, because it is the biggest game, right? But like, and they can't make an argument like, you know what, Dino Crisis, we can't live without Dino Crisis. It doesn't work.
Can't have Microsoft taking Maximo away from the
think
world.
Sony went to the wall for this one. They shot their shot full blast.
Yeah, they did.
And I don't think it would work for anything else, because it's like they wouldn't have anything backing it up.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Well, hopefully that happens and they get Capcom and Sega, and then I can live happy.
You never know, mate. You never know. But hey, look, we're coming up on 2.5 hours. Your missus is probably already poisoned your coffee.
I can hear them walking around up there.
So let's let everybody get off and get on. So to the 300 plus people that watched us this evening, much love to you guys for hanging out for the entire show.
Thanks, Rand, for growing a pair
what can I say?
And jumping on.
I missed like half the show, but okay.
No, we really appreciate it, man. We love you being here. It's nice.
I don't think you missed that much.
Nah,
did you?
Like an hour and a bit, more or less. All the boring stuff. He comes in for the ADK discussion. That's where that's where his heart's at.
Yeah.
Jesse, for doing all the cool things in the background. Thank you very much, my man. And Nick, enjoy your trip and your holiday. We'll see you next week, same time in Sydney.
I'll be in Sydney, so my background will look very different. I think I can pay the hotel a bit extra for high-speed internet to make sure that there's no issues.
We need to figure out the podcast title and thumbnail ahead of time then.
I'm going to have my laptop with me anyway, so I'll be able to do all that stuff. That's fine. Yeah. That part will be normal, because this very expensive computer will be with me.
Jolly good. Well, in that case, chat, it's been a blast. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks again, Rand.
Yeah.
Ciao for now.